see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay, hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fireflies Wrestling Podcast. Today is April 13th, 2025, the year of our Lord, the year of the snake.
That's right. I'll take the stick. Try to think of another story. Let's see.
When you got your ass beat by a Stone Cold.
Oh no, we talked about that already. Oh no, here's the funny part. Here's an interesting one. I remember this big man wanted to exploit my alcoholism, so he had me in a program with Jerry the King Lawler in 1996 at SummerSlam, promoting my alcoholism. Some good shit there.
Jesus H. In the year of snakes being out of our life.
Yeah.
No cap.
Retweet.
It's the year of retirements. We got the retirement or potential retirement of John Cena, and I say potential retirement because you never know with heel Cena now, dastardly son of a bitch. And we'll talk about him and what he did or what happened to him on Raw. And then potentially a Goldberg retirement. We don't know. Mr. William Goldberg. And then the last outlaw ride of Double J, Jeff Jarrett. So there's that. We got the year of heel turns, man, and we got Naomi turning heel, man. Who would have thought that? We've got Cena turned heel. Who would have thought that? We did, fuckers. Yeah, we did. We called it months in advance. You can go back and rewatch it, retweet. Anyways,
Wind the tape.
Yeah, who else has turned heel? I feel like somebody else turned heel.
I mean, DIY turned heel. That was last year.
Street Profits.
A New Day turned heel.
New Day.
Yeah.
We got some pretty solid heel work going on.
Many more to come.
Yeah, many more to go. So before we jump into it, this is the first before we jump into it. I feel like there should be a little bit that pops in before we jump into it. Chris, how was your week, man?
My week's been okay, man. Finally got paid back by that chick that robbed me. Was able to catch up on all my bills, pay my mom back.
Good shit.
The podcasts that I had this week were really good. Had a really good one yesterday with somebody who had some religious trauma and stuff. So that was a really good conversation. Had a really good therapy session as well. I found myself, not really being too bothered at anything at work this week either. So, it's been a decent week.
It's always a plus, man. Always a plus. If you're not bothered at work, like that's a plus. JR, man, how was your week?
Week was good. Yeah, same with Chris. Work once again not bothersome for the most part. It was pretty solid, pretty steady week, I would say. Bouncing back and forth once again between admin duties at my parents' house and here in the condo. So lot to get through there. Just got back from my goddaughter, which is good to see. And, life's been pretty good. We have a short week coming up because of the Easter holidays, so can't go wrong there.
Nice. That's awesome. That's pretty cool, man. Man, my week. I'm just gonna say, for the sake of not ruffling feathers, my week was all right. I'm not about ruffling feathers in this phase of my life. Maybe ones or twos, but not all of them. But anyways, so before we dive into it, we talk about this week in wrestling history, and we talk about Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. and we talk about our predictions for WrestleMania, as well as we're going to do a top five time of WrestleManias, and WrestleMania matches. But before we do that, we have a tradition that we follow and we started up some time ago. And we're gonna grab the beverage of your choice. I have Liquid Death. I got a lot of them right now. Right? Got some Liquid Death, Dead Billionaire, not sponsored. Monster. What is this one? I don't fucking know. The Viking Berry, not sponsored. Would love it. Water, because water needs it. And we are not sponsored by Deer Park either. Deer Park. I don't know if I can show this, but you know what? We love water. We'd love to be sponsored by water. So yeah, fucking somebody do God's work. But anyways, we're gonna take our favorite drinks. Chris, what are you drinking on today?
Green Monster, my friend. Green Monster.
Ooh.
I was debating on getting one of my Arizona iced teas out of the fridge. I'm like, you know what? I need some extra energy. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I do too, man. I feel you. JR, what you sipping on today, Mr. Canada?
Speaking of Canada, straight from as what the Dying Tree once said, a little bit of the bubbly, but no, it's actually a Canadian branded known as Buble, sparkling water, apple flavor. So
nice, very nice. It's awesome. So take what you got and pop it open. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers to TikTok. I'm on TikTok on my phone because I couldn't get it to work on this shit. But man, woo! Fuck, this one gives me a chill. Anyways, so we got JR. JR is going to be covering this week in wrestling history.
All right.
And we're going to be having little discussion points during it. I don't know what's going on there. So, JR, take it away.
Fantastic. So we only have one day because it's only today. So let's go and share it up here. April 13th. We have in the picture here, we have good old rest in peace Terry Funk there with the Sandman and Stevie Richards. And that's actually the first point of April 13th today here. Or actually, it's the second point. But anyways, we'll start in 1990. The Tokyo Dome played host to a rare card co-promoted by WWE and All Japan Pro Wrestling. Speaking of that,
Nice.
In the main event, Stan Hansen was defeated by Hulk Hogan. Surprise, surprise. And in other interesting matches, Andre the Giant teamed with Giant Baba to defeat Demolition. Genryu Tenryu defeated the Macho Man Randy Savage. And Bret Hart fought to a 20-minute draw with Tiger Mask.
Ooh.
Right.
Wasn't that Hulk Hogan match the one that everybody was like riding his dick for, saying it was really good?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, so that one, and I think he fought the Great Muta and maybe Tony Milky.
That match.
But that was in Japan. That wasn't like Hogan went as a competitor. It wasn't like a co-event.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So
It's okay for me, brother. There.
brother.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Brother, the work that we
1997, ECW, Barely Legal, the first promotion's first ever pay-per-view took place at the fabled ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the main event, hardcore legend Terry Funk defeated Raven to win the ECW Championship, but to qualify for the match, he had to beat Stevie Richards and the Sandman, as pictured, in a three-way dance. And then earlier in the card, the Eliminators, which is John Cronus and Perry Saturn, defeated the Dudley Boys for the ECW Tag Team Championship. And in one of the most anticipated matches in ECW history, Taz defeated his nemesis Sabu after months of not, I don't like reading this, but it says, after months of not touching each other even once. Because that's really, really.
Ooh, that sounds erotic as fuck, homie.
I know, exactly.
Hey, yo, what the?
Exactly. 2000 show in Indianapolis, Indiana, a unique ECW championship match took place when WWE superstar Taz defeated WCW wrestler Mike Awesome to win the ECW championship at his ECW show.
Yeah.
It came about when Awesome signed for WCW while still being ECW champion and still technically under the contract for ECW. Dropping the title in this fashion was part of the negotiations to avoid legal action instigated by Paul Heyman and ECW.
you ever watched the behind the scenes for that whole incident? Like, I guess he showed up to the negotiations with his bodyguard and shit because he was afraid to get his ass whooped.
Oh, jeez.
Who, Mike Awesome or
Yeah, Mike Awesome, yeah.
wow.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So basically what happened when he signed to WCW, like, everybody on the roster wanted to beat the shit out of him. Bubba being one of them. So I guess when they showed up to that arena, they had to sneak him out with bodyguards because those fans hated Mike Awesome.
yeah.
Well, the crazy thing is, man, if you look at it, Mike Awesome signed a contract while he was the ECW champion, right? And then he dropped it to Taz, but Taz did the same fucking thing. He signed a WWE contract or WWF contract while he was their champion.
But I don't think he took the title with him, though. Is the difference.
He didn't take that. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mike Awesome, man. He was such a great talent, though.
He's very underrated too.
Severely.
Yeah, very good high flyer. I still remember that one night stand match he had with Masato Tanaka. Oh
Yeah.
crap! That was physical.
Was that when Tanaka was like covered in bandages?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude. Tanaka is still doing crazy matches. He just had a match with Joey Janela not too long ago.
Oh my god, dude!
Right.
You lost me at Joey Janela.
Oh yeah, asshole. Anyways, 2007, one of my other favorite Japanese wrestlers, Yuji Nagata, defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in a match in Osaka, Japan. I do remember Yuji Nagata back in WCW. He used to do this while having his manager Sonny Ono take a picture with him when they were in the ring. So yeah, he was solid talent there. In 2008, TNA's Lockdown pay-per-view took place at the Paul Songas Arena in Lowell, Massachusetts. As with typical pay-per-views for TNA, all matches took place inside a steel cage. In the main event of that night, Samoa Joe defeated Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And also on the show, the Prime Angle. That's right, that was Prime Angle there. And also on the show, Team Christian Cage, which was Christian Cage, Kevin Nash, Rhino, Sting, and Matt Morgan defeated Team Tomko, which is Tyson Tomko, AJ Styles, James Storm, Brother Ray, which is Bubba Ray Dudley, and Brother Devon Dudley.
Also,
in a lethal lockdown match.
A big heavy fuck you to Kevin Nash, by the way.
Oh, what happened?
For you, Kevin Nash?
Him going after Io Sky on a weekly basis. I have no respect for Kevin Nash.
That's
just like CM Punk said, click, click, click,
click, click. Dude, that's a soundbite we need to get. Click, 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 click. It's just so happened to be the sound your bones make as you're walking.
I'm not gonna really go there with Kevin because because him losing his stun, so I'm not gonna really go down that path there.
No.
But anyways, on a 2009 on an episode of Raw, WWE held their annual draft. This year saw them use the format of brands needing to win a match on the show to earn a draft pick. And the biggest move saw Triple H move from SmackDown to Raw, with CM Punk going in the opposite direction. And then so that's your day in wrestling for April 13th. And birthdays, we have 1990, Flash Morgan Webster. 1977, Christian York. 1964, Mo, who is better known as the other half of Man on a Mission with Viscera. Rest in peace to him.
I thought you were going to say one of the Three Stooges.
Yeah, exactly. Stan Stasiak, 1937, who has a famous son known as Sean Stasiak. And Dr. Wagner, 1936. And Antonino Rocca, 1926. And that is your day in wrestling for April 13th.
Nice.
By the way, this is what Kevin said. Kevin says Io Sky is terrible and has no business being involved in Rhea versus Bianca Belair. And he says that she's too small, lacks smoothness in her movements, and that her striking doesn't come across as believable.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to address that here in a second. But But Webb, Joe, welcome. Thanks for being here, man. Will, thanks for being here. She is the fucking champion. She is the women's champion on a show where two other women are trying to get an opportunity at that women's championship. One had already earned it in the fucking elimination chamber, and we're seeing wash and repeat, rinse and repeat, with all these other storylines of people getting interjected into a match to make it a triple threat match, like we got when we had Daniel Bryan and Cope versus fucking versus Roman at WrestleMania, and then so many times before, right? She is the women's champion. She needs to be in that fucking match. Rhea Ripley, sorry if anybody loves Rhea Ripley, I mean, that Rhea Ripley can kindly fuck off and find something else to do.
Thank you.
I'm going off my soapbox now.
All right.
Bro, Will, that's so funny. Right before you joined, we were just talking about that promo.
Yeah. We were just talking about that promo. We were doing
Click.
Jesus, there's some new sound bites. I haven't been able to put the new ones in that we got, but we got some good ones coming, and it's gonna be fun. The show's about to amp up to 11 real quick. Anyways, that was pretty good today in wrestling history. And we were talking about Mike Awesome, man, and I think I brought up last week or 2 weeks ago. I've been watching wrestling bios, the Reliving the War, and we're actually in the phase where Mike Awesome is in WCW, and he was in the New Blood. I fucking hate the New Blood because it just made no sense whatsoever. But yeah, it just made no sense at all whatsoever. I mean, you had two.
Era?
Yeah, that was the Vince Russo era, where you had like the Millionaires Club. So you had like Lex Luger, Sting, Hogan, Flair, sometimes Scott Steiner, sometimes not Scott Steiner, sometimes Rick Steiner, sometimes not Rick Steiner, and then Goldberg, and then sometimes not Goldberg, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Yeah, so fucking it makes no sense. And that was the only time where they turned Goldberg heel, and it didn't work. It literally, the fans shat on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching where Mike Awesome has had those some of those good matches with like DDP and shit. He had an ambulance match with him, and I forgot how talented he was and how great of a big man he was. And
Amazing.
Yeah, and if things wouldn't have happened the way that they did, I feel like he would be. I'm not going to say on the level of Triple H because that is absurd to even think about. But
Yeah.
I think that he would be a multi-time heavyweight champion, and probably be close to being in the Hall of Fame.
You know what kind of hindered his run there in WCW or WWE when he did get signed there? He had two really odd gimmicks prior to WCW folding. So he had a gimmick known as the Fat Chick Thriller. I'm not even going to advance on that because that was just silly. And then he became that 70s guy, Mike Awesome, where he came out to a very white kind of theme there. And then it's just like they kept, I think literally he went through 3 gimmicks within a span of 6 months in WCW.
Dude, Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo. Enough said.
I was like, dude. And then just Mike Awesome ended up being a lackey after that when he was in WWE for that short period.
I feel like most of the talent that weren't like cruiserweights that came from ECW got really shit on. Like, look at what happened with Raven. And look what happened with Sandman. When they had him with the fucking shell necklace and bullshit. My God.
Yeah, they completely corrupted their characters. I mean, like, Raven was more prominent in TNA after he left than he was in WWE. I mean, he did have, and I will say, this is one of my favorite matches of WrestleMania. It might sound like weird, but Raven versus Kane versus Big Show in that hardcore.
No, that's a great match.
We were talking about that last week.
Yeah, and I've been watching WrestleManias. I think we all have, but I've been watching WrestleManias this past like one a day, and I watched that one earlier this week, and it was I fucking forgot how entertaining it was, really, because it was such a fun match to watch.
I love the fact that they almost actually ruined the power. If you remember, they had the golf cart right into the damn electricity. It's like, oh, they were that close to ruining the power.
Oh fuck! All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move on to Raw. I'm gonna be honest, man. My head has not been in wrestling this week. Just life, and that's all everybody's got to know. Life. I'm okay mentally, but my head has been just all over the place. I did have in the background, but yeah. So we're gonna go into it. Some of the highlights that we had CM Punk in an interview. We had a promo battle between Cody Rhodes and Cena. Braun Breaker versus Penta for the Continental Championship. No, that's wrong. This is all wrong. Dude, Bleacher Report. Why? Okay, what was the date for this past
April
Monday?
7th.
April 7th. All right, there we go. April 7th. All right. Anyways, let's go here. Okay, yeah, we're going straight to the source, WWE.com. So yeah, we had a contract signing between Io, Bianca, and Rhea. To be honest, it was really lackluster. It's the same shit that we see every week, where Io gets pushed to the back. She's a supporting character in this fucking dumb feud.
And honestly, I think that's the point of Triple H doing that. I think he's doing it purposely, but my stance on Rhea doesn't change.
No, and I agree. I enjoy Rhea as a performer. I think she's great, but in this feud, she didn't need to be in this feud. And just by the looks of it, because Bianca came out in the all black. It's been a long time since we've seen her in all black, where she had the black hair, the black makeup, black long sleeve gloves, the black cheerleader gear. She may be going heel soon. Who knows? But I have a feeling we're going to see something.
I'm still thinking that there's going to be a factor with Jade here in some fashion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next, we've got Lyra Valkyria, and this is in no particular order. I'm just going off of what's popping up here on WWE.com. So we had Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley in the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. My God. Every match that Lyra puts on with another woman that can elevate her, she shines.
And here's the thing about Lyra. I love more than anything that both Triple H and HBK have booked her to be a smart wrestler. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, I love that she's not playing the dumb rookie. I like how she is carrying herself in a professional manner, taking on all challengers, but not to the point where it's demeaning her character.
100% respectfully on her too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and dude, just that I can't even remember. I don't even know the name of this move, but where she had Bayley and she between her legs and she was swinging her back and forth like a submission move, like the pendulum thing.
Yeah, it's a pendulum. Yeah, pendulum.
Yeah, that shit looked nasty.
She's strong. She's strong, man.
She is. Yeah. Next, we had El Grande Americano and the Creed Brothers versus LWO. And I mean, we already know who is going to win. We knew it was going to be American Alpha and El Grande Americano, El Grande Cappuccino. Apparently, El Grande Cappuccino is getting a WrestleMania match,
and that's great.
That's great. It's Chaz Michaels Gables. But anyways, next, dude, we had not next, but. Also on Raw, we had a phenomenal segment between Jay and Gunther. And if you didn't believe in this feud, if you didn't believe in this feud whatsoever, that for me, that interaction with Gunther and Jay solidified why Jay deserves to be in the main event or a championship match.
Like I said before, I apologize to Hunter. I apologize to Hunter for not believing in this rivalry until the last few weeks.
Yeah,
there you go.
My only gripe with this segment, and it's a very small one, is I didn't like him sitting on the mother comment for like a solid 2 minutes. because I felt like he just kept like running it on.
Yeah.
I feel like Jay, when he tries to cut serious promos, he struggles to get to the point of where he's going. But when he gets there strong. Him smacking the microphone out of Gunther's hand was one of the best parts of the whole promo, because you saw it in Jay's eyes. I wish he didn't motion to the crowd not to eat. Like, yeah, I guess they essentially tried to hijack that segment with his own fucking gimmick cheer. But at the same time, I wish he wasn't like trying to wave them down, because it kind of took away from that promo a little bit. It's like, listen, guys, I'm trying to cook. But nonetheless, everybody was bitching that it wasn't physical, and it didn't need to be.
No,
it really didn't. He's like, oh, they just beat the shit out of his brother. Why didn't they hit him? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be physical, guys.
No. And the emotion that was behind it said more than any fist could throw. Dude, like,
here's also the thing too. If every segment that they had was physical, it would be AEW.
Yeah.
Because AEW does not know how to build storylines properly.
Exactly. Will, it's the IWC, man. The IWC will bitch about anything. You can give them everything that they want. And we had this discussion around WrestleMania this past year. Yeah. Cody won the fucking championship. Everybody loved it until they didn't.
Except for the Romans.
Except for the Romans, yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I think like what really stuck out to me is in this segment. I mean, obviously, Chris, you hit on it with smacking the mic out of his hand. That was perfect. It wasn't over the top. It didn't need to be physical, but I think what really did it more for me was Gunther's reaction to everything, right? Because Gunther, like when Jay came out, he was laughing and he was like, "Oh, I'm about to fuck him up." And then Jay smacked the mic out of his hand, and it changed. It went from bully to I'm nervous now. Like this dude found his stride, and the thing, like, you know, we may read on the internet like, oh, you know, like Chris, like you said, oh, he's been beating his ass every week. That's what Gunther promised. If you remember, after the Rumble, he said, "Do not choose me because I'm going." And shorter terms, he said, "I'm going to fuck you up until WrestleMania." And he's been doing that, and it's not just been physical on Jay, but he's played the psychological games with Akira Tozawa and like American Alpha, and then he's been playing the mind games, you know, with Jimmy Uso and all these other things, and so like, and pretty much commenting and saying like, you're a great tag team wrestler, but you have no business being a main eventer whatsoever, a single star. And so like this moment was like that moment where Gunther was like, oh, fuck. And I haven't seen Gunther like that at all. Like when he was in the feud with Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, any other feuds that he's been in, I have not seen except for when they made him the bitch to Damian Priest.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. That's that's off the side. But that segment right there solidified for me like Jay deserves that main event spot, and it fucking amplified it. Now,
my only concern as of right now is how Jay is going to present himself when he wins that title.
Look, man, I'm going to be honest.
Like, titles can make people can't make that title.
Yeah, the title can break people too.
Yeah. And like, all respect to Jay. I think Jay is phenomenal. He has always been phenomenal, especially the main event Jey Uso character, I think, has grown leaps and bounds. But you look at somebody like Jay, you look at somebody like Seth. The differences there are astronomical. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and again, no slight at Jay whatsoever. Because if Triple H believes in this man enough to give him the Rumble win, I would hope he's going to do the same in taking care of Jay's title reign.
Yeah. I think, you know, you're right. And I think the comparison between the two, and comparison is a thief of joy, but the comparison between the two is Seth Rollins has been a single star for a majority of his career now in WWE, right? I mean, he was he was in a tag team with Roman when they first started. I mean, he's done tag team stuff here and there, but he's been a solid go-to for any feud for a single star. Whether it's down from, you know, and no slight on Dom, but when Dom was first breaking into WWE, he had a feud with Dom, brand new dude, and he helped elevate Dom to another level that wasn't possible. Or working with somebody like Brock Lesnar, or working with Roman, or somebody that has an established name, Rock. You know, Seth is that good, but Jay's been a career, and just the opposite. Jay's been a career tag team wrestler, phenomenal at that. But he hasn't had that exposure of the main of the singles competitor that long. It's only been like what, 2 years now. So I think, you know, Chris, you hit it, you know, spot on, and yeah, it's just crazy. But I have a feeling, and I don't want to get into the predictions, but I'm just going to plant something here, and everybody said, what if Jay don't win? And let's not answer that. Just keep that in your head, and we'll talk about it later.
Fair. Yep.
All right. Anyway, so we also saw the New Day versus the War Raiders. I'm glad that they're not called the Viking Raiders anymore. They beat them by disqualification when Xavier Woods brought a chair into the ring, and Ivar grabbed the chair and hit Xavier Woods with it. So that is setting up for a WrestleMania tag team match for the titles.
That's very racist of Triple H to book 2 black men in WrestleMania.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. How they put 2 black women in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania as well. I mean, God almighty.
Fuck me sideways. Next we had Penta versus Dom, and this match was really good. So good. Dog, Penta, we already know how badass Penta is, but we also know how great Dom is. And
I'm just going to say this. Dom Mysterio needs to walk out as IC champion. I will stand on that.
Well, hold on to that. For when we do
so you know, we'll talk about that in the predictions, but then we seen the Judgment Day get involved in the match and attack Penta, and Braun Breaker came down to the ring and speared the absolute dog shit out of Carlito.
Top 3 best spears I've ever seen in my fucking life.
And dude, kudos to the cameraman too. Kudos to the camera work there. They had that wide shot of him just like literally doing a 100-meter dash towards Carlito.
Did you see the fan camera?
Yeah.
Bro, somebody posted it on social media, him standing on the guardrail, and you just see fucking Braun fly across the goddamn air. I'm like, dog.
He speared him so hard he became Caribbean cool again.
That's funny. No, but he hit that nasty spear, dude. That reminded me of when Roman speared Big Show on the ramp. Was it Big Show?
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Goldberg speared The Rock.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
SummerSlam. Jesus Christ.
Who's next? You're next. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yes, top 3 spears of all time. I don't care what anybody says.
I think we're finally at a point where people are going to stop needing to use the fucking spear.
Yeah.
Like, starting with the Usos.
Yeah.
And Roman needs to figure out a different finish because his spear doesn't look good anymore.
I think the only spear that he hit aside from the one that we just talked about, the only other spear that he's ever hit that I'm like, God damn, was against Shane at Survivor Series, where Shane jumped off the top rope.
The one he hurt him in?
Yeah, where he knocked him the fuck out.
That was really
that was beautiful. But
my favorite Roman spear is the one where he tag teamed with Bray Wyatt, and you just see Bray pull the trigger, and Roman spears that dude. That one, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Roman was put in the ladder match for the World Heavyweight title, and he speared somebody through the ladder, under it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's crazy. But then we seen Finn come, and he jumped Braun. He beat down Penta, and there's a strong case for Finn. Finn's back. Anyways, to close out the show, we had a segment where Paul Heyman came out, and they teased Paul Heyman all night. And he came out and he pretty much said, "I'm going to be neutral in all this." Right? He said, "I'm not going to turn my back on Roman. I'm not going to turn my back on Punk. They're my best friends." And then Seth Rollins comes in, and Seth Rollins is like, "Roman don't give a damn about you. He left you to deal with Solo and his group of criminals." And he was like, "Punk don't love you because Punk left." And he was like, "So how about you do, the only way that I see this being fair is if we eliminate you from the equation."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Dude, what?" You don't see Paul Heyman getting physical very much. And so he starts, he's like, "What do I got to do?" And it's weird though, because it's like, the way that I seen Seth like operating in the words was kind of like when you got that kid in school who's had all of the, and I'll say specifically a girl, you've had a girl that's had all of the accusations about her and all of the gossip about her. And then you've got that guy that's in the teenage boy that's in the corner. He's like, "What do I got to do to get with you?" Right? Like this guy has been with you and that guy has been with you, but what do I got to do? That's what it felt like, right? Like a little bit of jealousy. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. He's like, I can't give you a favor. And then Punk or Rollins starts grabbing at him and takes out his handkerchief and grabs him by the lapel. And Paul, dude, the first time in a long time I've seen Paul get like innovator of violence. And he was like, "Don't put your hands on me.
Get your hands on me.
Don't put your hands on me." And so after that, he kind of backed Paul into the ropes. We got Punk coming out. They brawled, really good brawl. And then Punk slid Seth in the ring. Punk went to go in the ring, and he got stomped for his efforts. Paul Heyman goes to check on him, and he's down on a knee. And I called it as soon as Paul went to go check on him. I was like, "It's coming. He's going to try to stomp him." And sure shit, Seth got in the corner, and he ran and acted like he was going to stomp him. And then Paul backed up, and he's like, "Now you owe me a favor." So many levels.
I'm gonna say this about Seth, man. You can tell that he's been under Triple H's wing his entire career because, in my opinion, I don't think there's anybody right now who is on the psychology level that Seth Rollins operates at. Nobody.
Cerebral Assassin Jr.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Like, when he went to go stomp Paul and didn't do it, I was like, bro, this man's got to figure it out in fucking levels.
Yeah. There's levels to this. And, like, I don't know what's, like, in that match, I don't know what is going to happen. And that's the great thing about this year. It feels so unpredictable.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember when Cena was facing the Authority and Copeland came back for no reason, basically to motivate Cena or whatever it was, and Seth is like, "Give the Authority back the power, or else I'm going to stomp it. I'm going to break his neck again."
Yeah.
And he gave him the power. And he's like, "I'm going to kill him anyway." Oh my God.
Yeah.
Seth is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, man, is like, we know Punk is solidified as a face. Mm-hmm. We don't know if Roman's solidified as a face or if he's a tweener. Who, Punk?
Yeah.
No, because he ain't done any real heel shit, to be honest. He hasn't, like, admonished the crowd. Like, I would, and I'm going to say this, and I know, like, this may be, like, a sore subject, but I feel like on the latter half of when Punk was in AEW, he was more of a tweener than he is now, because he would go, like, some of the heel work that he did that wasn't full heel is he, when he was fighting against MJF, and he had that segment with MJF, and he was like, they were in New Jersey, and he was like, it's just shitty little Max from shitty little New Jersey, right? And so like he got that heat. And then there were some other times in the promos where he would do some heel work, but not full fledged heel. Now here, he panders to the crowd. I haven't really heard him.
That's fair.
I haven't really heard him say anything bad about the towns that he's in. Like, dude literally just walks out and he's like, "I'm so fucking happy to be here." So yeah, we don't know if Roman is, and the crazy thing is we don't know if Roman's a heel. We don't know if Seth is a heel, but Seth is playing more of a heel.
I said this I was just talking to my neighbor about this. I think ever since Roman has lost the title, and this is no disrespect to Roman because I don't hate him as a person or talent.
He's lost his aura.
I don't think he's done a great job since he's lost the title. Like his solo feud, in my opinion, was horrible. I hated every second of it. The OTC stuff, I don't really care for either. I think it's kind of corny. And then, like the segment that they just had with him and Heyman, it's like, okay, so we're back to the tribal chief bullshit. What are we doing? Like, give me some consistency on character. And it's not even 100% his fault. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want him to stay in one lane. We don't need to sway back and forth between OTC tribal chief. Just keep it somewhere in the fucking middle.
Yeah, I think it's so hard too because he's not consistently on TV.
Right? And that's a big problem.
At this point, he's on TV either every other week or every 2 weeks, so you don't get to see him as much. So it's like, oh, Roman's here, and he's starting to become a nostalgia act in a way, where they bring him back. You don't know who he's going to feud with. They pick a feud for him. He goes away. And then he comes back, right? Like, so after the match with Solo on the Raw, on the first Raw on Netflix, you didn't see him until the end of January.
Right.
Till the Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
why?
You didn't see him again until after the Chamber.
Yeah. And why? Like, why? It doesn't make sense. The man is a needle mover, and I'll say that, and it's so fucking cheesy, but he's a needle mover. The man, he's a fucking megastar. This dude could possibly, go out and be one of the top merch sellers of all fucking time, topping Austin. I feel that
happening.
I mean, in this generation, I feel
this
like
man still sells 316 shirts in every city.
Oh, I know. I know. I know. But there's a lot behind Roman that I just don't understand and that I don't like. But that's neither here nor there. That's Raw. We covered Raw. I thought Raw was really good. Like I said, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but what I did pay attention to, I really enjoyed. So I'm going to go ahead and back out. Chris and JR cover NXT. So I'll be back when you guys are done.
All right. Fantastic.
All right, so we had Stephanie Vicker open up the show with Kelly, and why is there a goddamn ad popping up on my? So annoying. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Why can't I pull it up now, dude? This is trash. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay, so Stephanie opened up the show with Kelly. Says that she'll make her decision regarding Stand and Deliver here soon.
Yep.
What did the human spider say, Sean? I didn't miss that comment.
Okay, so so because I'm on TikTok and I can't say some of these things, he told me to unalive myself.
What the?
Yeah, I blocked him and banned him. Okay, look, a little something, man. We do this for fun because we love wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And we do this as a way to escape our reality for 2 to 3 hours a week. Each one of us has our own job, and we have our own life. And this is where I'm going to break away and let you see behind the curtain a little bit. Don't fucking come in my goddamn show and tell me to unalive myself or any of my hosts to unalive themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Because that's that's a fucking reflection of who you are as a human being. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know Chris or JR or anybody on this goddamn screen on TikTok or that's watching. Y'all don't know what the fuck we go through. And I don't know what you guys go through. So be a goddamn human being. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the goddamn content, or don't. Kiss my ass. I'm off my soapbox. Love you guys.
Sorry you said that, man. So the first match we had was Jordan Grace versus Jada Parker. Man, I'm going to say this about Jada. She is a future main eventer at WrestleMania. I
Absolutely.
genuinely think she is one of the best talents that WWE has ever brought on. HBK really takes care of her booking. Her promos are always outstanding. And I'm really, really glad she separated from OTM. OTM is great. I love them as a tag team. I think they're a lot of fun to watch. I don't remember the guy who does like the snake movement in the ring, but he's really good. I would love to see them on TV again soon. But I think Jada Parker just absolutely shines just as bright as Stephanie does. And I would be bold to say I would love to see Jada Parker be a champion within the next 6 months.
Yeah, let's see it happening. I can see it happening at this point. Yeah.
We had a little bit of a botch with Jordan Grace. She got caught on the ropes and almost hurt herself.
Everyone gets caught up on the ropes.
Yeah.
It's just like, whatever. They could just shut the fuck up on that. Thanks.
I'm really glad that she addressed it right away. And I think she's a true professional. Jordan Grace picked up that win. I think this was one of the best women's matches of on TV this year. Then we had a little bit of a replay with Ricky Sainz capturing the North American title. Don't
forget we had a return after that match with the women.
Oh, that's right, with Julia, right?
That's right. Yes.
Did she come out then? I thought she didn't. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after the match, Julia comes in, she drops Parker, and then Valkyria comes out and, tries to help her fight off whoever she's fighting off. Julia gives her a nice little headbutt, and it looks like Stand and Deliver is going to be quite the damn show.
Yes, it will.
Then we had the Ricky Sainz capturing the North American Championship package with Ethan Page attacking him after. Then we had a nice little backstage segment with Swipe Right and Hank and Tank. I'm going to say this about Swipe Right, man. I truly think out of everybody on Evolve right now who hasn't been on NXT already is going to shine really bright when they start cooking because they are so fucking funny. I love their presentation. I love their entrance. I think their entrance is super clever.
Yeah.
And I love that the swipe left chants have become a thing. So
Oh my god. The theme music. I told you, man, that's like literally that's Robert Stone when he was Robbie E in TNA. That type of music. So
I definitely see it. Then we had the calling backstage with Sean Spears, and everybody in the calling apologizes to Sean that he lost. He's like, "This isn't about me. This is about you guys, and I want you to shine." Again, man, I think all these guys outside of Vance so far, I think are going to benefit from Sean. And the only reason I said Vance aside is because I don't know enough about him or seen enough about him to really say anything.
Yep.
So they have a match later on that night. Sean's not going to be at ringside because he wants them to shine, which I think Sean's a great leader for that.
Yep.
Then we had the Fraxium versus Swipe Right match. I thought this was really good. I thought Swipe Right was very in tune with everything that they were doing. You could definitely tell they're still fairly green. And Fraxium just stands above every tag team that has been put in front of them so far outside of the Hardys.
Crazy.
I can't wait to see the Hardys and Fraxium once again if it happens because
I'm sure.
And so far, I don't think they have a match at Stand and Deliver.
Not until next week. We will find
not
out
until
about it
Tuesday,
next
right?
week. Yeah, which
Then we see.
I'm kind of scared about, but I'll mention it once you get to that part. But
Okay.
yeah.
Then we had Fallon and JC arguing back and forth about who should be in the qualifying match. And then Jasmine says that she's going to step up and represent, which good for her, man. Like, Jasmine needs more ring time. I think she is phenomenal. She's still very green, though. And I think that's just lack of ring time. And that's not on her.
No.
Next up, we had Sol Ruka against Jasmine Nix. Jesus Christ. I thought Jasmine was going to win this match a couple times.
Me too. I thought so too. I thought she was going to shock the world. Yeah.
She hit that nasty fucking Pele kick on Sol, and I'm like, wow, she's going to win this match. But Sol Ruka with that Sol stature is just flawless.
Oh, unbelievable. And oh my God. Incredible stuff.
Then we had a nice little backstage segment with Javon Evans saying that he's been warning Oba and Trick about Dark State, which, again, I'm going to push this narrative, God damn it, that he is the leader to Dark State. I don't know. It can't be Trick. It can't be Trick.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I will stand and deliver. It'll literally stand and deliver and show us at this point.
One person said that it could be Stacks. I'm like, so he goes from one stable to another? I don't want to see that.
No, it can't be. He's not believable enough. No way.
Julia is seen backstage in the parking lot. She says that she wants no friends. She just wants a rematch and stand and deliver. Right to the point, and I think Julia's promos are delivered a lot better when they're like that. Just don't have Funaki talk for her again.
Oh no, she doesn't need her to translate. No, she's good.
Will, there's no leader yet. I'm just saying I feel Javon Evans is the leader to Dark State because every time he's been attacked so far, they have come out immediately after. So I don't know. It's just a theory. It could be just them four and no leader, but I'm thinking that Javon Evans is at the forefront of Dark State. And I think if he comes out as the leader for Dark State and that leads him to winning the NXT title, bro, number one.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
He would be the youngest NXT champion of all time.
Yeah.
And I think this would be the fastest rise to an NXT title reign as well.
No.
No. Ethan Page.
No, Ethan Page. Dude, yeah.
Then we had the Coling versus Hank and Tank. I thought this was a pretty decent match. It wasn't bad.
Physical. Yeah, physical. Good stuff.
The Coling hit a nice little Dominator flying knee drop, and they got the win.
Yep.
God, this segment is just going to piss me off reading it, so I'm not going to read the entire promo.
Yep, fair enough. Oh. My ancestors.
So we had Ricky Saints, Lexus King, Eddie Thorpe, and Wesley come out, and Ethan Page, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, when the hell did Ethan Page come out?
After when they were all arguing, and then Ethan Page just smacked them.
Oh, right, okay. The thing is, it could be they're doing this intentionally because they know people think he might be the leader. Yeah, but also at the same time, people are saying Trick because of his heel tendencies right now.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little too obvious on certain points of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of like low key behavior that not a lot of people are noticing too on Javon.
And I'm gonna turn heel a little bit on this on the segment you were talking about there. I hated the fact that Eddie did mention a greedy white man to Lexus King. I like whoever wrote that. That's just stupid. Yeah, and he's stupid too. So it's like, it's like
I think Eddie Thorpe has got to be the corniest fucking wrestler I've ever seen in a fucking wrestling ring in my life. And Ridge Holland exists. I think that promo was super stupid. I think the Ancestors thing is so overdone. I don't see any value in anything Eddie brings to that fucking that entire roster. So he can kindly fuck off somewhere with Dakota.
Yeah. Yeah. Next.
Anyway, I'm just scrolling through the promo in here and basically saying that the title is his birthright. Jesus Christ.
No, it's not. Your birthright is to get the heck out of here, man. God almighty.
Ethan Page drops Ricky in the middle of the match, in the middle of the segment, rather. So it looks like we're going to have a multi-man North American Championship match, and a handful of which are AEW guys.
Yeah, I was going to say like the Tony Fumble special.
Oh my God, dude! I hope Vegas goes crazy with the Tony Fumbles chants.
Oh,
Jesus.
they will. They will. They'll go in a way. They'll go double or nothing on those chants.
Ooh. I'm gonna go all in.
Oh yes, that's right. Be quite the dynamite, that's for sure.
Oh Jesus! Could be a shockwave to the system. You know what I'm saying? Oh wait, that show doesn't exist. So then
head-on collision, that's for sure.
Oh, it could be a rampage.
Oh,
got him. So backstage, we had Stephanie Vaquer talking to Ava, saying that she's going to take every opponent at Stand and Deliver. So we're going to get a four-way four-way match. Respectfully.
Yes.
We had a backstage segment with Trick Williams talking about Eddie Thorpe, then Javon saying that he's gonna leave with the title around his waist. Oh, Will, you have no idea. I'm being really tame right now.
Yeah, terrible. Oh, trust me, Will. There's more to that.
just look at my name on here, and I could get a lot worse. I promise.
Well, say with me. So it's like
Next up, we had my boy Inamura versus Wesley. I thought this match was a lot of fun. I didn't like how short it was. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah, it should be a little longer.
But I think that if Inamura would have shined the way that we know he could, I don't want him. Yeah. I don't want Wesley to look bad before a North American title match.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So then we had the Obas Femi promo talking about Dark State and the ruler can't be stopped. Talking about the 6-man tag that they were supposed to have later on that night. Then next up we had Izzy Dame and Ren Sinclair. I actually didn't watch this match because I think I might have been recording or uploading a podcast, and I don't know how this match was. I heard there was a pretty bad botch. Was it the ending?
So it's in a sense, I think it was on sort of Izzy's fault, and sort of there was a loud noise there. So what had happened was the match itself was pretty decent, for the most part. Ren's just an awesome, performer there, and Izzy's just coming into her own as like a powerhouse per se. So in the end, Izzy Dame did her finisher, the Sky High finisher, and then I think when she was doing the pin, someone had smacked the ring once already, and then the referee was doing her 2, or was get 2, and then Izzy already celebrated, thinking she heard the 3 already. So then so that's basically what happened there, and so everyone thought it was a 2 count, but then the referee pinned 3. And so the finish looked a little wonky there, in this case here. So, I mean, I don't know who that was on. I don't know if it's on Izzy or it's on the person who slapped the mat in this case here. I think it was probably one of the people on the side there that kind of slapped the mat by accident there. But it's pretty noticeable. It's a pretty noticeable botch. But other than that, though, I mean, you know what? I can look past that because, like, that shit happens. That shit happens in this case here. And, Izzy's now in the ladder match, so good for her in this case here, and it continues the prerogative with the culling, shining in this case here. So
I just hope it doesn't affect her push at all, because that's tough, man. I heard about the botch, I didn't see it.
honestly believe that was a human mistake. Honestly, in this case here, it's like I think she probably was like told like that was a big mistake, honest mistake there. It's like in this case here. So, but anyways, it got to the point where she won. So I think that was still obviously the finish anyway. So it didn't really matter. So yeah, good on Izzy there. Yeah.
Then we had a backstage segment with Lash Legend, Fatal Influence, and Roxanne basically saying that there's not going to be a last chance qualifying match and that she's going to figure something out for everybody. I don't like how Roxanne seems to be in limbo between NXT and the main roster. It's kind of weird.
For now. I think you don't want to put Roxanne in a storyline right before WrestleMania, and it's because everybody else is already kind of in some sort of storyline. I think with Roxanne, because in this case here with Roxanne, she's only 22, 23, whatever
right.
the age, like very young. You can literally do a lot with her. So it's like I don't think it really hurts if she's in between for now, until further notice. So.
Then we had a backstage segment with Andre Chase and Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon. Seems like they're trying to revamp Chase U in some fashion, or at least get Andre Chase to work the way they want him to work. I'm kind of worried to see where this story is going to go with Andre, because they're kind of like dragging it out too long.
Sure. Yeah.
And now that Duke isn't part of the roster anymore, we haven't seen Thea Hale in God knows how long. And Riley has been on Evolve. So it's like, I don't know what they're doing with these handful of talents. I want to see Thea back immediately, because I think Thea is incredible. I think if they were to cut her, I think it'd be a huge mistake.
No, I don't think they would have cut her. They would have cut her by now. I don't think at 21 you're not going to cut someone like that this early in this case here.
Yeah. Then we had a backstage segment with Hank and Tank with the Street Profits. Street Profits threw a little bit of shade at Bobby. I thought it was pretty off the cuff and pretty funny. I thought the stipulation was Chase U had to dissolve. Yeah. Chase U's no more. It's none of them are together. Yeah. Duke Hudson doesn't have a job. Hey, Michelle. Duke Hudson doesn't have a job anymore, and they're just trying to figure something out.
Well, you're right. Yeah, for the last feud, that's right. But yeah, we're just talking about. I don't know if they're revamping it or maybe they're going back on that thing there, but whatever. It is what it is. So here's where I'm worried about with the Hank and Tank situation here. When they were talking about with the Street Profits, because apparently there's going to be a tag team gauntlet this week to determine Fraxium's challengers. I am scared to death that they're winning it and they're going to be at Stand and Deliver against Fraxium, and then
which I don't think is a bad thing as long as they can work to the pace of Fraxium. And I don't really care for Hank Walker. I think he is probably one of the worst talents that they've ever put in a fucking ring. Tank is okay. I don't hate Tank by any means, besides who he's married to, because
get kicked. Yeah, he kissed my ass. Tank. Tank can kiss my ass. We're doing okay, Michelle. Thank you for asking.
Doing all right, Michelle.
Hope you're doing well. Yeah, but no, actually, on seriousness, Tank does kind of remind me of a thinner Otis sort of thing, because he does have that energy of Otis, and he does have the power. He does have a little bit of agility compared to Otis. There, he does have the
Hank is just ridiculous. He's not believable in any sense.
God Almighty, Hank
Walker, so I just wonder who's going to be in that gauntlet match, because
it'll be no quarter. It's going to be the Culling. It's going to be probably Inamura and Briggs.
I need Inamura and Briggs to win that gauntlet.
You think they're going to win the gauntlet? You think they're going to win the gauntlet? Maybe.
I want to see Inamura on a big stage again, man, because that sumo style is so much fun to watch. Yeah, dude. Like his corner move that he does when he steps back and does a sumo move, fantastic.
Right slap.
Yeah. Sean's off camera.
I'm right here. I'm right here. They're talking about NXT, so I'm letting them do their thing.
So next week, Ethan Page will battle Wesley, Lexus King, and Ethan Page in a fatal 4-way match. I don't know how I missed that.
I think they meant. I guess they meant to say ancestors there, but whatever. Go ahead. That's fine.
The winner of that match will battle Ricky Saints for Stand and Deliver. So I'm going to assume there's not going to be a finish. I would prefer that, to be honest with you.
To be a Tony invitation.
Fuck. The next week we're gonna have two more qualifying matches for the women's championship ladder match, and then the main event. Dark State, the 3 members that I called before it happened.
You did. Yep.
Osiris, Sugars, and Cutler. All faced. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't.
No,
you
said Dion Lennox. You did say Dion Lennox. Yes. Yeah.
Dion Lennox, Cutler, and Sugars versus Oba, Trick, and Javon.
I'm gonna go shout out to Sugars already, man.
Dude, he's great. Talent, man. He's great. A good talent, yeah. Cutler is so embarrassingly green. I actually feel bad for him.
Screw him. Remember, he's dating Riz, so I'm kidding.
Right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Cutler's all right. Cutler's okay. He's all right.
I think he needs a lot more reps in that ring before they, hard put him in that scene like they have him now. Because I feel that he's just not. I don't know. That match was rough to watch him because there was that weird. I don't know if you remember the hot tag, or not a hot tag. It was just a regular tag, and you just see Cutler awkwardly walking across the ring to hit him. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
You're not pulling a Kevin Nash, are you?
Sorry. Dark State won that match. They got their first W.
As expected. Yeah.
And they ended up pinning Javon. Javon, right?
Javon Evans. Yep, you're right. Yep.
I think him getting pinned is another little nugget there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the only reason I say that is because Oba and Trick fought their way out of the ring.
Yeah, exactly. It reminded me, I told you this before, it reminded me when Bully Ray was found out to be the leader of Aces and Eights in TNA. And so they had a match actually with 2 members of Aces and Eights versus Bully Ray and Sting. And if they won, then they would be a part of the TNA roster. And who did they pin in that match? They pinned Bully Ray. So it's like, it's almost similar, almost, if you think about it there. So you may be right on this Javon being the leader there. I mean, it'd be crazy to see.
Yeah, I think it would be really smart to do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then we have a match, the family against Dark State in a parking lot match next week. So
that's fun. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. I think next week's card looks very stacked for NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Great show. We whooped AEW's ass again, even if it was by a small margin.
Hey, they haven't lost to AEW this year, so that's all good.
AEW is officially NXT's bitch, so.
Yes, sir. That's all right. Yeah.
But yeah, Sean, the show is pretty solid.
Yeah. And are they going to pull Goldberg to Randy Orton? I don't know.
Could you imagine if they pulled that out?
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Like the Kevin Owens injury opening up, Goldberg coming out to fucking face Randy Orton. That'd be fucking wild.
That
would be. Yeah.
That would. I have my personal thoughts as to who I think it's going to be, but we'll talk about that in predictions later. So some of the things I was on TikTok while you guys were talking, I was listening in, but I was showing them some of the things. I don't even think I showed you guys these, but for Christmas, my mom got me a Fiend fucking poster.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a metal frame, and then a Bray Wyatt Fiend.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, she got that for me. I forgot about that. I was sharing that, and then I forgot, man. I have wrestling cards from WCW '91.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got. So I opened up a few packs because I wanted to see what was in it because like you don't get the preview for it. I've got like 20 unopened packs. Like shit, you not. And I have to look on eBay to see how much they are. Pretty sure they're fucking like they're going up in price now. Like this shit has like the Steiner brothers. I'm pretty sure this is Sting's rookie card from WCW. Uh, Ric Flair, dude. I a few years ago I got I used to be a huge card collector, like wrestling card collector, and when I lived in Alaska, I don't even think Chris, I don't even think I showed you my collection, but I got an old WWF pack, and we're talking when Ric Flair, or when Bret Hart was a rookie, and I had Bret Hart's rookie card. They're thrown away now, not because of me.
It's because of you.
It's because of me, but I didn't do it. At
All right,
any rate, what?
I said, all right, Snitsky.
It's not my fault. By the way, speaking of, Snitsky actually doesn't live too far from me. Because maybe
Yeah,
an
I
hour
know.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Jay Youngblood. We've got theories. But anyways, do you want to go ahead? We'll talk about
Yep.
uh
Smackdown. I
what,
have it here.
yep.
I have it here. Perfect. All right. Smackdown. Back in America here, where we were in Seattle, Washington, the home of the Seattle Kraken and the former home of the Seattle Supersonics. We had the opening segment here with Nick Aldis basically explaining to him that, to Randy Orton, that, basically wanted to talk to Randy Orton. Randy is basically begging for a match at WrestleMania. He even Nick says, you can lose the suit and tie if you want, and you can fight me in a match. So it's like the seeds are being planted there. And then we get a buzzkill. And then it's funny. And then the funny line here says, "You need my respect, funny enough, Nick. You have my respect. You earned it a long time ago. But if you don't deliver on a match for yours truly next week at WrestleMania 41, and I can't promise that I will apologize to Mickey James after I do what I'm going to do if I don't get my match." So it's like, oh, that line. That's 2009 Orton there going that deep with that. So it's like,
And you see the funny thing about Orton is like he can bring out pieces of himself throughout his career, and it's so damn fluent. I just Randy Orton is truly one of the greatest of all time.
Exactly. And then we had a buzzkill in Solo Sikoa coming out. He basically came out there, kind of screeched the show there. Randy Orton did make a funny line. He goes, "You had the fact that you had the balls, both of you. I'm talking to you. Yeah. He made that comment to Tama was great. And then, we had the whole Solo Tama attacking Randy Orton. LA Knight comes out. Hey, we'll have a tag match later tonight. Enough about that. We'll go to the next.
So hold on. So off of that, man. Oh, never mind. That's a prediction. I'm gonna leave that for later. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. All right. We then had a replay of Pat McAfee's Big Night Out from Wednesday. By the way, shout out to Pat McAfee, man. What a great human being. That was a great show he did there for not only, giving out money and then, making donations and all that, but having all those people there. We had a drunk Michael Cole, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was good stuff there. But yeah, he had a good show there. Just shout out to Pat there. Whole new
Sid the
respect.
fucking kid out there too, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. It was a good stuff there.
City.
That's a good shout out to Pat there. We then had the tag team gauntlet to determine the number one contenders for the women's tag team championships. And we started with Bailey and Lyra Valkyria starting off against PFC. They got pinned. PFC gets pinned. We had the next opponents, which were Maxine Dupree and Natalia. And it continued the storyline with Maxine trying to, show up to Natalia. But Maxine looked good. I mean, both in and out in this case here. But she got to shine. But it turned out that Maxine lost with the tag gauntlet there for Natalia, so Natalia walked away disappointed. We then had a very fiery Katana Chance and Kaden Carter come out for the next match. Good stuff for Kaden and Katana. Good to see them, getting their tag stuff once again. But Lyra, with so much power, as we said, mentioned previously, she lifted up Katana like it was nothing for her Nightwing finisher there. So that was some stuff there. We then had Michin and BFAB, the next team in the gauntlet there. Back and forth between the two, and ended with Bailey hitting the rose plant on BFAB, which eliminated them. And then the final team to come out was the Secret Her Service of Alba Fire and Piper Niven. Honestly, I thought the Secret Her Service was actually going to win this because the way it looked, but it was some good stuff there between all four. And then it ended up with Valkyria getting the little finisher there on Alba Fire. And we have new number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Champions. Very surprising in Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. So they ran the table, winning all the matches, and they will go to WrestleMania to face Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the tag titles. So
I do have a thought on
go ahead,
this.
Chris.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was just going to say, I had a thought on this, and Zoe and Shayna had a backstage promo about this after they lost, and, just sitting there saying, the only reason they're not being pushed is because they don't show tits and ass. Dog, at some point, you got to stop these fake-ass jealousy storylines because, I've said it before, Shayna has not been good since NXT. I will fucking stand on that forever. Zoe Stark, same thing. Zoe works too recklessly. We saw that at Money in the Bank. She works like shit. Has nothing to do with the fact that she's not showing what she doesn't have. Same with Shayna. Who in the blue hell would want to see either one of those like we see Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan is incredibly talented. Don't sit here and slight somebody for her looks because she's getting a push. Liv is better than Shayna and Zoe combined, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah. I don't hate who won. I don't hate that Lyra and Bailey won. But I will say, unless it's setting something up for the future where we get like a heel Bailey versus face Lyra,
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, where Bailey turns on Lyra at WrestleMania. Unless that's happening, right? Like I didn't see a fucking point in that happening because they could have done the heel turn on Raw.
I don't think everything needs to happen right away, though.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but I mean, like if you looked at the way that Bailey was reacting after the match,
Exactly.
She didn't shake her hand. She walked the fuck out the room. Yeah, so I don't like I said, I don't hate it, but I feel like if it's not going to pay off, then there's no fucking reason for them to be.
If they pull the trigger at WrestleMania, then I'm not going to complain.
No,
fair.
No.
Or here's a cut of
Raw after Mania.
Here's a cut of thought because we didn't see a certain team there. What if Liv and Raquel retain, and then all of a sudden the lights pop out, and then we see Alexa and Nikki after?
That'd be so cool.
Because we've seen at the Rumble and the Chamber who eliminated Alexa in both. Liv Morgan. So it's like,
I just hope that there is a plan for Alexa because I do kind of agree with the sentiment that she's not being booked, and it actually does bother me a lot. Because you bring her back at the Rumble, she has a match at both the Rumble and the Chamber, and then much like other wrestlers, we haven't seen since their Chamber. And, I understand if there's a timeline on the Wyatt 6 stuff, if people aren't cleared to go or whatever the case may be. But the fact that Alexa hasn't been on TV since whatever SmackDown she wrestled on,
fucking criminal,
is a little ridiculous.
There's going to be like a hard reset after WrestleMania with a lot of talent here because there's other talent we haven't seen in a while, like Nia Jax and Candice LeRae as well, because it's kind of interesting they haven't been on since the Chamber, which is kind of weird. Well, we'll see Candice on Speed coming up here because she's facing Sol Ruka for the Speed title this upcoming week here. So I'm looking forward to
And I
that
hate
match.
that I saw the spoiler for that match.
Oh crap! Okay, don't tell me about it.
I won't
Don't
say
tell me about it.
nothing.
Thank you. All right. So we then had Joe Tessitore then informing that Charlotte Flair and Tiffany were receiving disciplinary action for their promo exchange last week, and then Charlotte was then sent home, quote unquote, after attacking Tiffany in the parking lot, which I found hilarious because he's like on site there. We then get the announcement of WrestleMania 41 that Drew McIntyre will face Damian Priest in a street fight, which I have no problem with that. Never mind. Okay. Okay. Then Drew then attacked Drew attacked Priest before he even came into the ring. Then before that though, we did also had DIY complain to Pretty Deadly, saying that there's a conspiracy going on. Motor City Machine Guns then tell DIY, don't worry, we have our match next week, the Street Profits, and it's just karma for DIY. So we have that announcement there. We then had Drew McIntyre come out. He basically says he's piping up the match with Damian Priest. He then removes his eye patch, saying, "My eye is 100%." And then, then they had a brawl once again. And then Drew did a solid Future Shock DDT onto the steel steps
Very good.
onto Damian Priest. That was a very good sell there from Priest there. And then he took his chain, and it's now he's got a piece of Damian Priest there, so it's kind of like a throwback to the CM Punk thing there. But regardless, I know we talk about Priest and all that stuff, but I mean, I'm invested in this because this is obviously something 1 year in the making between these two. So I got no problem with this, and it's gonna be a good street fight between the two.
I think Drew has done a lot of the legwork for this feud. I think his promos have been pretty on point. Drew is one of the best promo guys on that roster right now. I don't think too many people come close to where Drew is at mentally.
I can't believe you're saying that after last year.
Yeah, I know. And I even openly said, like, the sword thing was my biggest fucking gripe about him.
Yeah.
And they dropped the sword, and his feud with Punk was goddamn flawless. I don't think Damian should go over in this match, and this has nothing to do with my opinion on Damian, but I think Drew needs a feud where he wins and stops putting people over.
Exactly.
Because we're at a point in Damian's push as a whole where he's just going over too much. Mm-hmm. Like that Finn feud, I know I already hyper focused on that in the last couple months, but that feud in specific made me tired of Damian winning.
Yeah. I'm so sick of that, but we shall see, man. We shall see with Mania. We then had our second match. Very good match between Rey Fenix and Humberto Carrillo from the Gato del Fantasma. Oh, we got something here? Well, let me see.
Hold on. Speaking of, I think I might have showed you this. Chris, you might have scoffed at it, but don't scoff at it now.
Oh, there it is. Nice photo.
I'm going to say this, Sean, and I've openly stated this about Phoenix.
I know.
I'm not going to pretend that I was a fan of his, right?
I know. Yeah.
But I will say this, and I will give him 1,000% props for this. That finish that he has might be the best off-the-top rope finish I have ever seen in the last year. Like that Mexican muscle buster is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
However,
Okay, go ahead.
I want to see him sell a little bit better, just a little bit.
Yeah. No, but he seems to slowly be adjusting to WWE terms. I mean, we'll give him props on that for sure. Yeah, because he was a little too fast with Nathan Frazier, but this week he seems to be a little more comfortable. Especially with a pro like Humberto there. But yeah, good back and forth between these two. Like I said, me, big fan of Humberto lately, especially with his body work there. It's like, but it's just like absolutely good stuff there. I do like that combination finish. He just walks the ropes and then just punt kicks him in the head, and then does
There was,
muscle buster. Yeah,
did he hit that drill? He didn't hit that driller this week, right?
not this time. Thank God.
And that's what I was talking about last weekend. He should have never added that, and I think that was that AEW mentality of
exactly.
how many spots can I get in?
Exactly. So so he didn't do that, thankfully. So he did his MMB, and then Santos Escobar comes out, tells Humberto to shake his hand, and he shakes Phoenix's hand after, and then walks away. So a little tension there between Legado del Fantasma there. Little like I said, we're always worried about Santos, but it seems like we're getting something good here with Santos. So I'm glad that they're still doing something with him. That's great to see. We then had Byron Saxton having a visitor in Roxanne Perez. She was actually there at SmackDown, and she's basically saying that, if I'm not going to get a shot at Stand and Deliver, I'm going to go talk to Nick Aldis and have a match and see if I can get a match for the Women's Championship, which then brought out Miss Champion there, Stratton, and they basically, Nick's like, I got a headache. Just, you know what? Just go. You guys fight. Go ahead. I don't care. So they will have a match later on tonight. We then had a video package. We had a very good video package of the history between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. Really good stuff there. And then we get yet another vignette with Mr. Aleister Black. We know now he's coming back.
1,000% convinced it's him?
Yeah.
Considering the next match happened to be with his wife, so it's kind of an
interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Well, on top of that, too. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Chuck, go ahead. Yeah, you got you.
I was going to say, I seen somebody. I can't remember if it was on Facebook or if it was on Instagram or maybe Twitter. But by the way, I'm back. I'm on Twitter now. So, fucking, they played the whole video and then they chopped up certain parts of it and froze it and then screenshot it, and you could actually it's pieces of Aleister Black's past, right? Like the candles, the smoke, but then there's like a black rosary that he wears that has a skull on it instead of a fucking cross. And then there's that coin, and then there was in Roman numerals upside down. It said 25. Yes, 25, and then the 4 was upright. So that's the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Okay, there we go. So we will see. So yeah, as I said, segue there. We had Zelina Vega face off against the U.S. champion Chelsea Green. Little short for my liking there, but because apparently Chelsea Green got counted out while she was arguing with the commentators there. So it seems like the feud with Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green will continue. I'm sure now, I know people are going to complain that, why do you have the women's U.S. title and Intercontinental title not be defended? Well, listen, Lyra's on the card, and I'm 100% sure Chelsea's going to have a segment there, which will entertain us. I mean, she even said it herself. As long as she's on the card, she doesn't care what she does. So it's like, kudos to Chelsea there. So we will see something between those two in the future. We then had Santos Escobar then basically says to Humberto he's extremely disappointed in him, and he was basically hyping up Phoenix. He says, we need that kind of energy in Legado del Fantasma. And then basically he walks away with Angel, and then Andrade then comes out, and he basically says, good match. But then Berto says, keep your hands away from me. So it's like, interesting little segment there with Andrade.
Another guy, I don't understand why they're not using him.
Andrade?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're using him for this.
Just in backstage stuff.
Well, for now, yeah, in this case here. Remember, you can't really put them all just to perform for the sake of performing.
You're right.
So, yeah, as long as they're doing something, I'm cool with it. That's
you know what it is? I think sometimes that the negative influence that this community has, sometimes it kind of plants in the back of your head, like, oh, wow, they don't give a shit about a talent because they're not booking them. I think sometimes, like, subconsciously, I'll like tuck that in the back of my head and not acknowledge it, and then it'll come out and not realize it. I would love to see Andrade and Santos actually fucking wrestle. Like, I think they're both great. Which, again, going back to the Aleister thing, because, we were having this conversation about Aleister, Phoenix, Miro, which I still can't believe they fucking re-signed, and Penta. Though that's 4 people that they have signed within the last 2 months, and I worry about it putting other talents, on the back burner, which isn't a terrible thing, but at the same time, it's like Andrade has done next to nothing since he signed, like literally next to nothing.
Yeah, I say I agree with you, but I also like how they've staggered the debuts, where it's not like they're debuting everybody all at one time, and not everybody, and they don't need to, right? And if you
who does that, by the way?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're staggering the debuts, and they're giving each person a set amount of time to show their talent and to make themselves feel and look important. And that's what they did with Penta. That's what they did with Ray, and they did it with Andrade at the Rumble. The only thing is that nothing has come to fruition for Andrade.
Correct.
And so that's the shitty part. Or Santos, right? And I hate it because both of those men are very fucking talented, right? So I don't know, but I definitely agree with you.
Like here's my thing too. Also, is like everybody bitches about the 3 hours for Smackdown now, and they say it's too much television. I think that if we were to do what AEW does, right? And I'm not even just talking about pay-per-views. I'm just saying in general. If you did match after match after match after match after match after match, but wait, there's more. After match after match after match, and then a little bit of a promo that takes up 30 fucking minutes, nothing can breathe. So I get the sentiment that there's a lot of talent, in my opinion. Like, take away the releases. Like, if Corbin would have gotten more TV time in the current gimmick that he had, he would have been one of their top acts.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're at a weird point where there's so much fucking talent, and we're signing even more talent that more talent are sitting in the background not doing shit.
Yeah.
And I don't like, and I will, this is one guy that I will shit on until whenever. Miro should have never been re-signed. I don't think he brings anything valuable to the roster. I don't think he's interesting. I think he hasn't done anything interesting since his debut from NXT, the main roster.
I will disagree respectfully.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll disagree respectfully on a few premises. Right, his feud with Cena at WrestleMania, great.
Yes,
fucking great. When he came out and that fucking Russian tank, perfect. That was a great display of how they should have moved him forward, right? And then he had some wacky fucking matches, like the flag match with Jack Swagger. I didn't care about that. But then Rusev Day was so fucking over, and he was on the upswing to be one of the top merch sellers. Unfortunately, he got released. It happens. But then you go to AEW, we could shit on AEW all day, and I'll be willing to shit on AEW all day. But we also have to recognize when they do good things. And when they booked Miro as the Redeemer, and he was the TNT champion, I feel like that was the most relevant he has been in a long time, or had been a long time. Because look, he came in and he told a story, and he dominated fucking everybody until they put him up against Darby.
See, but here's my thing about the Redeemer gimmick. I don't disagree with you on the presentation. The only thing I disagree with you on is how they went about his presentation doing matches. This goes back to Jade 2. Undefeated streaks are not always the best.
No.
He ran through that roster, and not one person that he went against benefited from that Redeemer shit. Not one.
I don't think that they were meant to, though.
But my point being, if you have a title, like when Cena had the U.S. title, everybody under Cena thrived. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, fucking whoever he went up against got that Cena rub.
Yeah.
Rusev isn't a big enough name to give the rub to 90% of the talent he faced to do anything with.
Yeah.
And I would love to not be so negative towards AEW. I truly would, because they got a lot of really good talent on that roster. The problem has and always will be the booker. Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And that small 5% is when he does something right, and that's putting the title on somebody that's long over deserved.
Yeah, and then by the time they get the title, it's pointless.
Correct.
Right? When they put the title on Swerve, pointless. Just for him to lose it to Bryan Danielson.
There, whatchamacallit, there was a JD from New York. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
So he did a 5-minute rant about this past AEW dynasty. And not only was it the funniest fucking review I've ever heard in my life because he ripped them apart, but he made every valid point that anybody that shits on AEW could ever make. Because he mentioned the Swerve thing. Tony had one job to do, and that's take that title off of Ambrose. And he didn't. And I won't call him Moxley because fuck John Moxley. I think
Renee's husband.
Yeah, Renee's husband, exactly. I don't think there's anything beneficial out of the Death Riders. I don't think there's anything beneficial John Moxley. And Pac, once again, for the 87th time, got injured again.
And then Hook gets a concussion, and they don't even do anything when he's in the freaking ring.
The motherfucker was vomiting. Yeah.
He literally vomited in the ring, and nobody was there to help him.
Right. And they still did that chair spot afterwards. So at some point, while I would love to agree with you on giving JBL, I really would, because I know for a while you supported them, and whatever. I don't judge you for doing that. That's fine. I can't get past all of the dumb shit that AEW does. Yeah, because Tony's a dumb shit.
I will say there's been points, and after I say this, I'm done talking about all elite or all friends wrestling, or all ex WWE guys. I feel like there have been points in AEW where things have felt important.
Sure.
For instance, the TNT Championship felt important, and I know it wasn't for a long time, but Brody Lee. Right, Brody Lee, when he held that, and when he decimated Cody, when he fucked Cody up, and took that championship and held on to it until their fucking dog collar match, he made it important because he didn't just take it off of him. Anna Jay choked his fucking wife out and was like, you are a bitch because you let somebody choke your wife out and you didn't protect her. All the while he was holding Cody back from allowing that to happen. So the storytelling has layers, and that's just the mind that Brody and Cody had. Then there were moments where Sting, made his return. He teamed up with Darby against Team Taz, and like Team Taz was shitty, but that cinematic match that they had was fucking great. And then there's been other matches that they've had where the shit has felt important. Like, for instance, and I know you are not too high on Eddie Kingston. I love Eddie Kingston to death. But when Eddie Kingston had that feud with Mox for the AEW Championship, it didn't materialize the way that everybody expected it to. But the fucking promos that they had between the two, the realism, the real friendship that they had between the two.
And what did they do in the middle of those promos?
And I know, I get it. No,
and that's the biggest glaring problem on a lot of the feuds.
Yeah, look, and I get it. I completely get it. But like for me, like personally, I found that enjoyable because like I was able to see a little bit behind the curtain, when Mox was saying, hey, you made a promise to your mom that you can't keep. Right? Or, hey, you did X, Y, and Z, and I'm about to knock you down a fucking peg. I enjoyed it. But then, 22 hit and it was just all rinse and repeat. Like I enjoyed MJF for a while. I enjoyed MJF when he had Wardlow and like he was acting like a dick. I enjoyed it, but then it just became repetitive. And it was because it was a flashy new toy and I hadn't seen it before. I'm willing to admit that.
Here's the thing about all of the good stuff that AEW had, right? The common denominator on every single one of those big feuds that felt good all leaned on the fact that Vince McMahon was in power still.
Yeah.
What happened the second Vince McMahon was out? Everything that AEW had crashed and burned.
Yep.
MJF still talked about Vince McMahon after he was gone, and then everybody stopped listening to MJF because the problem with MJF is literally what Ricky Saints said to him in his promo. Make fun of a city, talk about somebody's dead relative, talk about WWE. That is literally the 3 core points of MJF's character.
Yeah.
And what happened after Vince McMahon was gone? This dumbass stopped talking about the bid war because nobody wants MJF on their fucking roster. I'm still convinced to this day that there were no offers on the table from WWE.
No, absolutely not. I agree with you there. But I'm going to step away from AEW.
Yeah.
We still got SmackDown.
Let's continue. Yeah, we have SmackDown get a good year because we did have a very good promo from Naomi once again. Reestablishing her heel turn there. I'm just gonna read it out here. Leech, scum, opportunist. There are so many words that describe you, Jade, but there's one there that fits you to the core. It's a snake. Had I not pushed you off the ledge through the windshield, I knew it would eventually have been me. Once I got you out of my way, I took my rightful place as champion. Bianca and I even grew a stronger friendship, and now that you're back, Bianca won't even look at me. But it's okay. There's no more of this fake loyalty. I'm doing what's best for me, and I'm gonna get mine. At WrestleMania, I strongly advise you to proceed with caution, which then transitioned to Jade firing back. You thought you could weather the storm by ducking and dodging me, but now the moment is here. The time has run out. I'm not just angry. I'm pissed. You came at me because you thought you knew what's best for me. You don't. You tried to take me out because of your own insecurities. Let me ask you this. What happens to a star when it starts to fade? They try to steal the shine from someone else's place. Someone else, I should say. That's what it's about. The glow is fading, and Naomi, you're trying to stay relevant in any and every way. And that's what this is all about. You were jealous that I came in with so much star power, so much aura and glow. And this WrestleMania, I'm not a rookie anymore. I'm your biggest threat because the storm is coming. So
Jade's rebuttal was so good.
Fantastic.
Her promo work is massively improved.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. Very proud of Jade there. So yeah, really good stuff there, and I love. I can't wait to see this match. I'm very intrigued in this match. We then had a display of champions in the ring. There, we had all the championship belts of WWE's past, which was very good to see. And then we had Cody Rhodes, the champ, come out. He basically was once again calling out John Cena. He basically said that these fans are allowed to love somebody else. And yes, he goes, I call myself the captain here, but a part of a roster that has, and I love the fact that he listed out these names in particular. He's a part of a roster that has CM Punk, Randy Orton, Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. You would ever thought that Liv Morgan would mention in those aspects? I mean, that's kind of crazy. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, to name a few. I mean, how can you not go wrong with that? That's just amazing stuff there. But yeah, basically, he's just basically saying that the title is going to stay with us. You're not going to take it away from me. So yeah, another great promo there from Mr. Cody Rhodes there.
I think every week Cody proves to be the quarterback, as he would say. There was a lot of doubt when he beat Roman, a lot of doubt from a lot of big names. And towards the beginning, when he was feuding with AJ, then he feuded with Kevin before Kevin turned. There was a concern of Cody just being the wrestler champion instead of the quarterback where he is now. I truly think that Cody is the number one promo guy on that roster right now. I think his character has grown, and I think his demeanor has become stronger than ever.
It's great.
This Cena feud could launch this man into a stratosphere of very rare air. And I will die on this hill too. I truly think Cena should go over at WrestleMania because Cena being heel, while it's incredible, and I'm glad I was right about it because it was a lever that nobody thought could ever be pulled. And I actually just saw an interview with Triple H talking about it. And the fact that he was willing to pull that lever, because if you guys remember, Hogan was against the heel turn before it happened. He told Eric, "No way, it won't work." And then Bash at the Beach happened, and magic was created with the NWO. I will give Hogan props for the NWO until the NWO became what it became. But Cena turning heel, in my opinion, is one of, if not the greatest heel turn of all time. Yeah. And the fact that we're at where we are at right now with Cody, with Cena, with Roman, Punk, so on and so forth, this could really launch Cody's career. Cody should not go over because I think that would be an opportunity wasted for Cena. Especially it going down the way that it went down at the Chamber. Whether it's having somebody help him, which I think would even be better because we don't see that from Cena. If we had somebody help John Cena, like have The Rock come out and reverse a decision or some shit. Oh my god, dude! Like
that would be interesting. There, we will see there. We will see there.
Cena is on the closing show
for next week. Yeah, I was just gonna say. So we will get a rundown of next week's show or the final SmackDown before Mania. So we'll return as mentioned. We will have the traditional Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which begs the question: who's gonna win it? I have no idea who's gonna win it this year. To be honest.
Omos. No.
Hey,
Jacob Fatu.
Maybe. Oh no, it's still people who are not part of WrestleMania, so it could be anybody. Yeah, so we'll see. We also have the Secret Her Service teaming up against Zelina, Katana, and Kaden, and the Street Profits defending their tag titles against the Motor City Machine Guns, which I probably think something will happen, which will put them at WrestleMania. We shall see. Byron Saxton then had an interview with the Street Profits there, Motor City, and then probably pick up their match against the Motor City Machine Guns. Then Angela, and then sorry, shutdowns. That's many week. Yeah, and then Miz and Carmelo then came out to kind of goad them, and then I love the comment Angela Dawkins made. He says, "Don't worry about those. Congratulations for the IWC Glazers."
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I love that line there. That was a very good line there. So I guess Miz and Mello want a shot at the Profits if they retain the titles, but whatever. It is what it is.
The Miz kind of throwing that shot about the tag titles not being on Mania is pretty goddamn awesome.
That is a little, I didn't think about that. That's the Miz. He's always that good there. We then had our fourth match here with Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez. Good stuff there. Good showcase for Roxanne once again. We need the people to get to know Roxanne a little bit more. But yeah, good back and forth between the two. Stratton gets the win, of course, with the prettiest moonsault ever on Roxanne. And as she's celebrating, Charlotte Flair, who was told she was going to be going away, actually pulls Tiffany aside, throws her to the damn desk there, and she was about to go back at him, but then Wade Barrett tried to give bad news to Charlotte, and Charlotte just walks away there. So yeah, on site there between Charlotte and Tiffany there. And okay.
I've got some bad news.
Before we get to that segment, let's talk about Charlotte Flair herself, because I know we wanted to bring this up here, and there was a certain individual that kind of took it too far in terms of look, I get that she's a heel, I get that you think you have a voice when you're on Twitter and all that. I don't like the fact that Charlotte is getting so much personal attacks on her as of late. I know you guys feel that way too. It's just like, leave the personal, they brought it up, sure, but leave it aside. You don't have to go that deep in terms of trying to get at under Charlotte's skin, because everybody is human, as we all know. But it seems like everybody out there in the IWC world don't have a soul per se. So I want to get you guys' opinions on this particular situation here with Charlotte. So,
Sean, you want to go first? Because I got quite a bit.
I think and I said this last week, and I've thought about it a little bit. I don't even think I said this last week directly to you guys, but I've thought about it. your life is on public display as a professional,
Sure.
professional wrestler. But that doesn't give people the right to act like a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
And to lose that humanity, and just like I said before with that guy that made a fucking comment, right? Like people, just because you watch somebody on TV and you fucking hate them as the character doesn't give you the right to attack the person, and it's completely disgusting. You know, this Charlotte got blindsided by the fucking personal question on a TV show, and she got vulnerable, and she got really vulnerable, and she talked about things that she never talks about. Period. And for somebody to weaponize that against her, you know, not just Tiffany, right? Like I felt like that may or may not have been planned, and I'm not going to go
I
into
think
that.
it was planned.
It's probably planned. But to have somebody that does not know Charlotte whatsoever, that hasn't seen her or you know worked with her for a minute of her day, for somebody like that to fucking comment and say the nasty, vile shit that they said, that person should have their fucking kicked multiple times. And I'm saying that just in the nicest way possible. Chris?
So I was friends with Jeremy, you know, that guy who said what he said.
Mm.
He has gone after wrestlers in the past, Swerve being one of them. And obviously, you know my thoughts on Swerve. What he said to Swerve wasn't anywhere near to the magnitude of what he said to Charlotte. I even said to him when he posted it, I said, bro, I don't understand why you have to get this personal. He's like, oh, it's just a meme. I said, bro, like, we just lost somebody in the community who was one of the most passionate OG podcasters in Kevin Castle.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin, by the way. Rest in peace, man.
And rest in peace to Kevin, because he was great. He was always awesome to interact with. And then you look at the wrestlers that we have lost due to unaliving themselves. One of them being Daphne, and the other one, I for the life of me cannot remember.
Ana Kamura.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Both unalived themselves. And we're at a point in social media where people think they are way more important than they actually are. And the fact that we have people that have a blue check mark and think that they stand above everybody else in this community because of that, just to personally attack somebody they don't fucking know for likes and clout, is fucking disgusting. And Jeremy, if I can have a conversation with you in actuality and tell you how I feel about what you did, I think you're a vile fucking person. I don't care if you did it for laughs. I don't care if you did it for likes. You are not right for what you said to her. Has nothing to do with Charlotte being soft-skinned. Has nothing to do with anything. The fact that one of those 3 marriages that she was assaulted in, and you feel the nerve to point out that she divorced 3 times. Guess what? Shit fucking happens. You'd be lucky if your dumbass doesn't get divorced.
I've been divorced 3 times.
And I just feel like we're at a point in social media where not enough people hold these motherfuckers accountable for stupid things. Look at Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer is the best example of somebody that nobody holds accountable for being a dumbass. He went out of his way to say that Triple H may have been involved with the Vince McMahon thing. No repercussions. He also went after Triple H with the whole Hart thing. Nothing happened. And I'm tired of being quiet about it, because these motherfuckers just don't know when to stop.
No.
That's all I'm going to say on the situation. I truly feel bad for Charlotte here. I really do.
Me too. We all do. We all do. Charlotte. Yeah, we all do, man. We all do. All right. Well, let's get to. All right. I mean, yeah, I think we've said enough about that situation there. I mean, we can talk about it more later on, but just let's get to this next part here. We then have the news of the Hall of Fame. We got the announcements of the inductions. Who is going to be inducting who? We have Triple H being inducted by HBK. No surprise there. Lex Luger being inducted by DDP. No surprise there, because Tony Khan didn't want to be a piece of crap and put Sting in that place there, but whatever.
Surprisingly, the Stone Cold Bret Hart match for WrestleMania 13 is going to be inducted by CM Punk of all people. So I'm actually extremely surprised, and but it's an honor for him. That's a great thing. Michelle McCool will be inducted by her husband, The Undertaker. I mean, no surprise there. I mean, it kind of felt that maybe Layla could have done it, but I mean, obviously she's going to get some recognition for her time there. We still don't know who the natural disasters, though, is going to be inducted by. But I think, Chris, you made a good point. It's probably going to be Jimmy Hart, which I don't have a problem with that because Jimmy Hart's a good man. And then we had the breakdown of each night 1 and night 2. So we never got this announcement until usually the night of. So very interesting to see the breakdown here. So we have on night 1, we're going to have the War Raiders versus the New Day for the World Tag Team Championships. We're going to have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. We have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I know. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship. Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Championship. And CM Punk versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the triple threat match, the main event. So solid breakdown there for night 1. And night 2, we'll have the women's tag team title match of Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a street fight. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio in a 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Roman.
The tribal chef.
Wonderful.
I just made that. I'm sorry.
Nice. No problem. Io Sky versus Rhea and Bianca, triple threat for the Women's Championship. And then, of course, main event of night 2 will be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the Undisputed Championship. Which then led to our main event there, Randy Orton and LA Knight versus Solo and Tama. Honestly, I didn't really pay attention to it, to be honest with you, because it kind of felt like it's rinse and repeat for this foursome here. Tama gets another pinfall, gets pinned again in this case here, but then Jacob Fatu beats up LA Knight to end the show. So yeah, kind of a predictable ending there for SmackDown, but decent SmackDown for the most part. Especially the Gauntlet was pretty decent, but yeah, it was all right. Not too bad.
What was your prediction for Randy Orton, by the way, Sean?
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
I wanted the picture I just showed. I'm for everybody that doesn't know, I'm fucking around with ChatGPT and like kind of doing wordplay and like stuff with characters. I want to share some of these because I'm like really fucking. I stay up till 5 a.m. doing these.
Yeah, I keep hearing these like pings on my damn freaking message.
Yeah, that was me. I'm sorry. Anyways, so the first one I came up with was Goldberg using a fucking jackhammer. I thought that was pretty funny. The next one was Burn Victim Kane unmasking.
Oh, geez.
Why does that look like fucking Josh Brolin?
Okay, he does. And I tried to make him look more like Glenn Jacobs, and it just wasn't working.
Oh my god!
I had one here. No. There's one even worse. I didn't even post the one.
Gone for the head.
Look. When I said make the burns more realistic, and he looked like Ryan Reynolds when he played Deadpool.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The next one is like, look, there's a trigger warning for this one for anybody who has addiction issues, but I did this one because the Rock's move is the rock bottom.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to portray like the Rock at rock bottom. And being as somebody that is in recovery for addiction, I felt like I could do that, and like I wasn't trying to like be funny or anything. It was just more of a
fair.
There's another one that let me pull this one up real quick, and it'll upload real fast. All right, there we go. This next one I thought, and I was going off of nicknames, but Triple H as the Cerebral Assassin, or like an assassin. I wanted to put him in like assassin. Like I had a pew pew. I had him behind a pew pew. And I was trying to make it more realistic, and they were like, "No, dog, like this is it." That's that one. The next one that I work. So HBK is known as the Heartbreak Kid, but this one I tried to like embody and think of something that was like a little bit more funny, and this is like the Heartbroke Kid, Shawn Michaels.
He lost his smile.
He lost his smile. This one, and I know Chris, you're going to get pissed at this one, and you're going to say fuck him, but I thought this one was super hilarious.
It's like I said in the chat. It's not racist enough.
No, exactly. You're not wrong there. But I wanted to do Hulk Hogan dripped out in American gear, and then have like a bunch of people that are dressed like him behind him as brothers. So I found it really fucking funny. The one that's on the bicep, that's on the left, that's touching his bicep. That shit had me going, had me rolling. The next one I did was the faces of Foley, and I tried to get them all to look the same, like the faces. They just
Why did it
would
look
not.
like Christian Cage?
Yeah. So look, the mankind, the one that's at the top.
Yeah.
Looks just like
Roberts more than Mick.
Yeah, the one on the left looks like Mick Foley or Cactus Jack. It just doesn't have a Cactus Jack shirt. But the other two look nothing like him. And even though I tried,
this one, the one on the left, that looks like Christian Cage. The top looks like Abyss, and the bottom looks like another Josh Brolin.
he looks like the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jeff Bridges.
I'm the dude.
Fucking God.
So the next one that I did was Ryan, one of our viewers that always comes in. Ryan, he was like, "You should do AJ Styles," and I kind of did the wordplay on his name. Yeah, I was trying to get one of them to be like TNA AJ Styles and call it Styles Clash. It just wasn't working. It wouldn't come out the way that I wanted it to. The next one that I did was this one, and I thought this one was the coolest one.
She looks like Julia Hart.
Yes. So Ryan was like, "Hey, can you make Alexa Bliss as Sister Abigail?" And we know Sister Abigail being, however she's been portrayed in like cartoons or whatever, not cartoons, but like vignettes or whatever. She's wore the black dress. She's had the black veil, and like the rocking chair is symbolic, because she's kind of always been shown in a rocking chair. So I wanted to put Alexa Bliss with some dark makeup and in that Sister Abigail get up. And the last one, there's another one that I did. I'll tell you about it. I'm just not going to show you. But this one is X-Pac. Look, this looks like X-Pac if Keanu Reeves was playing X-Pac. And it just came out that way. I couldn't but I did it where he was in the classroom and he was writing on the chalkboard, what is the X Factor? And X Factor is
that Sean Wickman?
Sean Wickman, yes. And so I shared it to Twitter. I didn't expect anything, just put it out there. And Sean Waltman fucking liked that picture, and I was like, "Dog, this is cool." Yeah, fucking awesome. And so, but there's another one that I made, and that one is a little bit more controversial, which is why I'm not sharing it. But I'll tell you.
Now you gotta share it.
I don't even know if I saved it anywhere. But anyways, it's a picture of X-Pac in a Chinese airport. And if you know, you know.
What?
JR, you don't get it, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'll explain it. Okay, so X-Pac in a Chinese airport is in reference to One Night in China.
For fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
This is why we can't have nice things.
No, I am the reason we can't have it. I didn't share it on Twitter because I don't know how he feels about that.
He would probably block you.
He would, and that's why I didn't do it, right? And I didn't want to embarrass him or whatever. And primarily because I'm trying to get him on my recovery podcast. But
didn't he?
No, he just liked it. That's all. I thought it was cool.
No.
So yeah,
the podcast thing.
No, he didn't. Shannon Moore did. I have Shannon Moore's phone number in my phone right now. But yeah, so I'm currently working on this one, which is Roman Reigns as the tribal chef. I gotta tweak it and tailor it a little bit, but I like it because it's getting the creative juices flowing in my brain. Aside from writing my book, and it's pretty fun. But anyways, do we want to go? Okay, do we want to go into predictions first, or do we want to go into our favorites?
To the
How about we
favorites
do the
first, and then we
favorites
can do the
first and then
predictions.
predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jr., do you want to start with your favorite WrestleMania of all time?
Ooh, so my top five, I put it down here for my top five. So, uh, top five, no particular order. I didn't go in any particular order in this case here. I went with WrestleMania 22, with the main event being Cena versus Triple H, and also one of my personal favorite memories, Rey Mysterio winning the World Heavyweight title that night. So that was a good card there at WrestleMania 22 for Chicago. This past WrestleMania 40 was actually one of my favorites of all time, strictly because the whole card itself was amazing for the most part. Of course, WrestleMania 17, that was just like, an all-time classic, as was the one I just watched recently, WrestleMania 19, another all-time classic. And then a shout out to WrestleMania 24. So that was the one where Ric Flair had his retirement match, and then the Taker versus Edge main event there. So those are my top five WrestleManias of all time.
Chris, what about you?
So I'm gonna start with WrestleMania 40. I think Cody winning the title is pretty fucking legendary. I think it's truly hard for me to put many main events over that one, even if it was just a tad overbooked. Which it's fine. That match had to be, I guess. My next one would probably be WrestleMania. Was it 31 that Rollins cashed in on?
Yeah, 31. You're right. Yes, sir.
31 is one of my favorites. And then, what should we call it? 37, I think it was. Yeah, 37 because it was Bray's last live WrestleMania.
And you were there, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was there for night 2, so I got to see the Stack 'em, Pin and Leave main event, which was also Edge's last WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, 39 was his last Mania.
Or was that Brian's last WrestleMania?
That was Brian's last WrestleMania.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, Cope didn't put over Finn in 39 when he should have.
Right.
No. So yeah. No, Edge's last one was 37. Oh, the one where he stacked Daniel Bryan and Edge was 37.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was Edge's last one?
Mm-hmm.
No, Edge. No, that was Daniel Bryan's last one. He's correct.
Daniel
Yes,
Bryan's
Daniel
not
Bryan. Yeah.
Then 17, for obvious reasons. I think 17 is pretty fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
How many is that? Is that 4?
That was 4. Yep.
And then the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, the very first match they had. So what was that? 27? 25. That was the first one they had?
That was the first one they had. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that one's my favorite because I think Shawn Michaels and Undertaker had one of the greatest matches of all time.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so this is in no particular order, and this is just mine. I'm just going to go down the list. My first WrestleMania I ever seen, Andre and Hogan at WrestleMania 3.
Okay.
One of my favorites. That's what sparked the fucking love for wrestling in me. That's my first memory in life, and so I'm always going to hold that pay-per-view, that WrestleMania, dear to my heart. WrestleMania 40 because I was there, obviously. I really loved the energy of the place. I really enjoyed all the matches. Really, I had a fucking blast watching all of them. And then coming back home and watching it, it was really awesome as well. WrestleMania 15, 17, and 19 because that was the anthology of The Rock and Austin.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. Every one of their matches was phenomenal. Going back and watching them was fucking great. And so it was. Those are 3 of my, or the other 3, and so that's 5. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But like, honorable mentions, man. Like honorable mention. If I were to do an honorable fucking mention, it would be WrestleMania 30. And because the streak ending, I thought the streak ending was a complete surprise. Nobody saw that shit coming. Nobody thought it was going to be Brock. That card was pretty stacked too. And then also WrestleMania 38 night one because main event was Stone Cold and KO, and Austin had no business taking those bumps, but he did to put KO over, and I felt like it was great. So yeah, that's my top 5 and honorable mentions.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to go to the match.
Matches,
WrestleMania
yes.
matches, right? Cool.
Yep. So I'll go start again. So my top 5 in no particular order. Once again, I'm gonna give an honorable mention because this really should be in the top 5, but with the 5 that I pick, I could not remove one of these. But I'm giving an honorable mention to Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40, just for the simple fact that it had the drama all over. The match itself was solid, and then it's just basically it was just a great moment in wrestling history. But in terms of my top 5, no particular order, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. That was just their first match ever. Solid match. The Triple H versus Undertaker Hell in a Cell end of era match for WrestleMania 27. My God. It was 28, but I put 27, but 28. You get the idea. What a fucking match. The emotion from that match from beginning to end, HBK being the special referee, especially that part where HBK super kicked Undertaker and then Hunter got the pedigree and everyone thought it was over and then he kicked out and Brett's like, God, HBK's like, God damn it, what did I do? And it's like, that kind of thing. So it was a great stuff there. We talked about this already. Brett and Austin, WrestleMania 13 submission match. That was one of my favorites as well, obviously, for obvious reasons. HBK versus Taker, WrestleMania 25, the first ever match, as Chris alluded to in this case here. And just because for sentimental reason, because I was actually there live when this happened, and because of the moment itself, Hogan versus Rock, WrestleMania 18. I just have to put it up there because it's just like, dude, I was literally 16 or 17 when I was there, and I was there with my older brother, God rest his soul, and I wasn't even supposed to be there because I didn't think we were getting tickets. But last minute, one of his friends bowed out, and I got put in his place. And for me to share that moment with him, and to share the moment to see 70,000 fans literally turning on The Rock, and I was the only person cheering for The Rock, but it's like this crazy thing where we basically turned Hogan babyface out of nowhere was just absolutely outstanding. And the match itself was just, oh my God. Yeah, believe it or not, Hogan actually had a good match with The Rock in this event here. So it's like,
Very good match.
we got to give him props for both. Unbelievable stuff there. But yeah, those are my top favorite 5 matches of all time for WrestleMania.
What about you, Chris?
So I'm going to start with my honorable mentions as well. I got to give props on 2 cinematic matches that happened during the pandemic. I truly think the Firefly Funhouse, even though it wasn't an actual match, I truly think it is one of the best pieces of work ever put together by WWE. It foreshadowed a lot of events that are happening right now. It really gave us an introduction into the mind of Bray Wyatt and how he thought on the Fiend character. And then the AJ Undertaker match was a lot of fun too. It wasn't at the level of Cena and Bray, in my opinion, but it was still fun for what it was.
I loved in the Boneyard match where AJ was like pleading with Taker and he's like, "Please don't bury me. Please don't bury me. Don't bury me." And Taker was like, "I'm not going to. Don't worry."
And then,
so favorite matches. I gotta go Taker HBK first. I think that match is pretty goddamn flawless. Both of their matches were great. The Hell in a Cell match too was really good. Cena and HBK is actually one of my favorite matches to go back and watch. I think even though Cena went over, I thought it was a lot of fun, that match. And also HBK and Kurt Angle was a lot of fun. Also one of my favorite matches. And there was another match that Triple H had. I just lost it. I said the Hell in a Cell match. So I guess.
Yeah.
I want to shout out a female WrestleMania match, and for some reason, you know what? As much as I don't like her ass, Sasha and Bianca was great.
Yes.
I'll put that in an honorable mention, but I won't put it in my top 5.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
I got to give you Hogan Rock too, man.
Yeah.
Between that and I'll probably put on the same level as that the first TLC match.
Yes.
Was jaw dropping.
Yeah.
But those are my top 5 and honorable mentions.
All right, so I like all the matches you guys like, so I'm not going to say those because you guys have already hit on it. But I'm going to say a match that is going to fucking create some controversy on here just because of who's in it.
As long as it's not Eugene versus Hulk Hogan.
Oh, okay.
Chris Benoit versus Triple H versus Shawn Michaels for the heavyweight championship.
See, I would say that, but I can't.
Look. I understand that you guys can't do it. That's why I did. Because and this is no shade. I'm able to look past the person, like separate the person from the performer. Like Paul Heyman said, as a professional wrestler, he was one of the best to step in the ring, but as a person, he was a piece of shit. Fuck you, right? And so, like, I'm able to give him his flowers, but also say fuck you. I thought that match was great. There was a point in that match where Shawn Michaels got busted the fuck open, and he was just gushing blood, and like him fighting back and him able to like maintain his own. Even though we saw the likes of like Austin when Austin passed out from the submission move, the sharpshooter. That to me was cinema in its finest. So that one, but I also think like the Eddie and Angle match was brilliant too.
Oh, that was great. The finish was great.
Great finish. And I had a friend over that had never watched wrestling. We watched it actually last night. Never watched wrestling before. She knows who some of these people are. But she was watching it, and it was me and my other buddy Rusty, and she was pointing at Angle, and she was like, "You can tell that he has background in wrestling," and I didn't like fill her in. And then she looked at the other guy, and she was like, "He's great in the ring too." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And so like to have somebody that knows jack all about wrestling coming in and being able to like sit down and watch it and like enjoy it and like pick apart these things was pretty cool. But I would say those two main events I'll lump into one, or those two matches I'll lump into one. Zack Ryder, when he won the Intercontinental Championship in the fucking ladder match at WrestleMania 31, I thought was awesome, right? Because he got in front of his dad. He got his WrestleMania moment that not a lot of people got. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10.
Sorry for putting that in there.
Yes. That match, if you know a little bit of history about Kevin Owens, that match made him fall in love with Owen Hart.
I forgot about that match.
Such a great fucking match.
My God.
You already said the first TLC match. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's amongst the greats, but and I'm just going down the list here of other matches that are there. Obviously, the first time that Kane and Undertaker met. In the Inferno.
I'm actually going to put that on my list.
Very good match. Really good match. Burn victim Kane, greatest Kane ever. And then my last one I'll say is Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 20?
19. Okay.
Solid
19.
match.
Okay. Yeah.
Very solid match.
Can I also just add in a comment about the Benoit thing? I'm not going to drag you for it.
Yeah, go for it.
But, it's not so much that I can't separate the person and the wrestler. I think it's more so the fact that what he did and the fact that people are willing to look past it in order to say he should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame at all.
And I find it really hard to put him in the conversation of great anything simply for the fact of what happened. You know what I mean? Because like I look at his son who's still living and look at what could have been if that event didn't happen.
Yep.
And I truly think that anytime he's ever come across my TV on whatever pay-per-view, if I forgot he was on a card, I find myself fast-forwarding through his shit every time. And it's like, again, it's not so much I can't separate, it's what happened that just makes it difficult to acknowledge anything.
No, and I get it, and I respect that opinion and that standpoint. And I think for me, like looking at it and stuff like that, like, you know, when you said you find it hard to look past that and then like even, you know, consider him to be a great, I think, you know, the validation, not validation, but really Paul Heyman saying what he said.
Yeah,
really was
and I agree
like,
wholeheartedly with what he said.
Which is like why I hold that sentiment, right? And I do appreciate his body of work. But I'm also to say, I can also in the same breath say what he did was monstrous. And
but you know what really stuck out to me? What Paul said when he said that 3 people died that night and only one of them had a choice is what made me completely disregard anything Chris did.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. I think for me, in that moment, why I chose that match was. And I'll just say this here, is back in WCW before he left, he like literally the day before he left, before his contract ended, he won the WCW championship in a match that was not supposed to happen, period. Yeah. He got plugged in the match. He won the match. He was not given the opportunity to celebrate. Little did we know, you know, and then going into that other WrestleMania where he won against Triple H and Jericho. This was a few years prior to the events that happened. And had we known then what we know now, it may have shaped differently. But I think being able to like look at him and see that he now got to celebrate a victory that he put his fucking soul into is great. But I also agree with you, right? I agree with you where I don't want to see him in the Hall of Fame, because the Hall of Fame is reserved for people that are on a different level and they performed on a different level, but also they have changed their life, right? Like if you look at Jake the Snake, the only reason that Jake is in there in the Hall of Fame is because he cleaned up his life, right? Scott Hall, same thing. There's so many guys that are. Lex Luger's another prime example. Lex Luger cleaned up his life. He had that scandal with Miss Elizabeth, and where he gave her the pills. He went to jail. He came out and he revolutionized his life. Granted, what happened was shitty, but he changed his life. And, you know, for people that deserve redemption, that would be a great one. But I'm going to get off my soapbox on Benoit. But at any rate, or do we want to get into predictions?
Let's get some predictions then. Yeah, let's do it, because we may not be on next week. So yeah,
I'm gonna do the screenshot or the screen share of www.com, and we'll go through the matches. We're gonna start at the bottom.
Sure.
Anyway, so we'll start at the bottom of what's listed on the bottom. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I think we have a resounding understanding of what we think.
Liv and Raquel retaining. Yeah, there's no doubt. Liv and Raquel retaining. Yeah.
I think Bayley turns in Lyra.
Yep.
After.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next, we have the World Tag Team Championships for the War Raiders versus the New Day. What do we think is going to happen?
New Day should win.
And I think if Big E's not interfering, I'm guessing New Day wins the titles here, because you're not going to do this match unless it's for a big reason in this case here. So, yeah, I'm going to say New Day will become the new champions. Yeah, I agree.
Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in the Sin City Street Fight.
Well, I can tell you who's not winning, and that's the fans. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I just want to see a good street fight. You know, honestly, in this case here, in terms of who I think is winning, I'm gonna just go on a limb and say Drew, but there's a gut in me saying that Mr. El Campion's gonna win. But whatever. I just want to see a good street fight. That's all my prediction.
I want Drew to win.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I want Drew to win, but I also want to see something really funny where Drew back body drops Damian Priest if it makes it outside the arena or the immediate area. I'd like to see Drew McIntyre back body drop Damian Priest on a windshield.
Real glad. Sorry about it.
Yeah, cry me a river. Anyways, Jade versus Naomi. Who do we think is going to win?
Jade needs it
Jade.
more.
She needs it more. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yes. Yeah.
Was she in last year's WrestleMania?
Yeah, last year's. Yeah, she was in
What
the.
match
She was.
did she have?
It was.
She had
It
the
was
triple
her.
six-way tag with Damage Control.
Yep.
Holy fuck! I forgot that match even happened.
Yeah. They all came out looking like the three amigos. We got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. What is the fuck is going to happen? What do you guys think is going to happen?
I think Ray is going to demask him, and I think Chad's going to win.
Do you think that is actually going to be Chad under the
Yes.
mask, or you don't think that
1,000%. 1,000% Chad.
Or here's what I just thought of it now. I was gonna say Ray Mysterio was gonna win, but because Ray can't lose at WrestleMania, it seems, except it was against his son. But no, I just thought of this now. What if they pull a double switch for El Grande Americano? Like it's somebody else under that mask first, and then they do like a switcheroo, and then Chad comes out and then just gets the victory over Ray, surprisingly. I mean, they could
That'd be pretty
do that.
funny. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, they did it with Kurt Angle with Eric Angle, so it's like
Yeah,
true.
I could see that. Yeah,
I want to be sports entertained.
Yes.
exactly. Yes,
Next we got the United States Championship, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
Jacob Fatu doesn't win, then there's a problem.
I have a question on the Jacob Fatu thing.
Sure.
Do you think it's too soon?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No, dude's so over. Dude is so over, and he
He won the tag titles, and he won the tag titles pretty
That's
quickly.
true. I didn't even think about that.
With Tama there, so yeah, I don't think it's too soon for Jacob. No, you need a monster
if
heel
Jacob
for
goes
the
over,
mid-card.
I want to see a believable opponent. I don't want to see him run through the division.
I don't want to see him going against Nakamura. I love Nakamura, but I feel right now that there's nothing that they can do with Nakamura. And as much as I don't want to say this, like they should release him and let him go.
I want
something.
to piggyback off that Nakamura comment.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that they can do with Nakamura without this community bitching about it.
Absolutely.
That's the problem with Nakamura. It's not even Nakamura or his booking. It doesn't matter how he's presented. It doesn't matter what he does or who he feuds with. This community has been consistent with complaining about Nakamura since he debuted in NXT.
And they can complain all they want that they don't control it, so they can go fuck themselves. Next.
Absolutely. I love it. Next we got AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Who do we think is going to win?
I think this match is going to steal the fucking show.
It will steal the show, and I mean, you have to think Logan's winning this.
Yeah.
In this particular case here, if you're still pushing Logan, I think if AJ goes over and we can drag this shit out, bro. Yeah. Drag it out.
Yeah.
And you skip an Intercontinental title match, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about it next. We'll talk about
it.
Okay, so next we got the Women's Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. Who do we see going over?
I'm actually on the fence with this.
Me too.
I think Tiffany going over from a wrestling perspective would be great. Mm-hmm. For storyline purposes, Charlotte going over wouldn't be a bad idea either. But
it wouldn't be bad either, yeah.
But I feel like, how does Tiffany recover from a loss at WrestleMania?
I mean, you're losing to Charlotte Flair. It's not really that big of a deal.
It's not. But again, going back to this dumbass community, it's the problem. And while we could say they don't have an influence on very much, if at all, that's a problem.
Well, they don't. Yeah. So it's like it's whatever works, it works. Yeah, like it with this case here, you can't go wrong with either result, to be honest, in this case here, because with Charlotte, she has been very unselfish. Believe it or not, she has been very unselfish when it comes to putting over people. In her whole lifetime. Like, God forbid, she put over Sasha Banks a few times. She's put Bailey over at WrestleMania. You remember she got pinned at WrestleMania there. Rhea. I mean, she like everyone. Like, this could be another feather in the cap for Charlotte there. But then, yes, I mean, with this case here, for storyline purposes, if you can stretch this rivalry between the two until after the draft, I wouldn't mind seeing Charlotte winning. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it either.
Before you go to the next one, Sean, go back to the IC title.
The IC title?
Yeah. It's on the bottom.
Okay.
We skipped it again.
Oh, shit. Okay, I didn't even see it. My bad.
Yeah.
We got Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker.
Who did you have on Charlotte and Tiffany?
So I'm on the fence. I think that either way, we both win. If Charlotte wins, we win. If Tiffy wins, we win. I'm just excited to see the promo work after if Charlotte wins.
Yeah.
Right. Like I want to see, dude, and I'll even go as far as to say like I would love to see her join The Rock's stable if The Rock is forming a stable. And I'm going to say it like this because look. He built a stable, or he's starting a foundation of a stable with a part-timer in Cena. Technically, if we want to be technical about it, Charlotte's a part-timer too. Not because
walking the line of a part-timer.
Well, just hear me out. Not because she chose to, but because of the injuries. Right? So she technically considered a part-timer. She'll have a match here and there on Smackdown. But for the most part, she's been a part-time. What if she joins the fucking stable with The Rock? Just throwing that out there as a thought.
It's not a bad thought. I think it's pretty good.
Next, we got Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn versus Dom.
I think Dom should pin Finn.
Yes.
Yeah, and the way that it happens. So I had two scenarios when it comes to this. So I think when it comes to the Fatal 4-Way, I think we're all pretty certain that Finn's getting pinned no matter what in this case here. So I was thinking, like you said, number one, Finn gets pinned. Either Braun spears Finn and then just literally throws out Braun to get the pin, or to make sure that everyone looks like it got knocked out. Let's say somehow Dominic and Finn both get speared, and then Dom's arm falls on top of Finn, and then Penta, I don't know, somehow pulls him out or something like that, and he somehow gets a fluke win.
I think I'm with you on that. My thought on the finish would be Braun spears Finn, then Penta gives Braun the fear factor, Dom throws him out, hits the 5-star, and pins Finn.
I want to see a weird finish. This is the first time I'm ever going to say this. I want to see a weird finish. I want to see a wonky finish. I want to see something where, like, because it's a no disqualification match. Weapons can and probably will be used. You could bring out a fire extinguisher. You could bring out like some powder and throw it in someone's face. But I want that person to be Dom. I want Dom to get a fire extinguisher to the face or powder to the face where he's blinded and he backs up and grabs and rolls up Finn on accident. Right? Doesn't see like he can't really see it.
Great.
Yes. Yeah. And then after the match, right? Like everybody cleared the ring. And Finn like goes to act like he's gonna shake his hand, and then they kick Finn out of Judgment Day. Like all of them.
I had an additional thought to your roll up on Finn. What if Penta super kicks the piss out of Finn, gets rolled up by Dom, Braun spears Penta out of the ring, and they're both out?
Yeah. I would like that.
There's so many different directions they can go with this.
So many different directions. Yeah, because I don't know why I was thinking Dom's like how Eddie pinned China for the Intercontinental title by hugging. Dom's like, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I don't know.
and then I wanted to be like after the match where like where Dom is celebrating with like Liv, and Finn is pissed, and he goes up and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like pretty much like, "What the fuck, man? How could you do that to me?" And they do a playback, and Dom sees a playback, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't even know it was you. Like, look at my face."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, I can't even like I can barely see you, right? Like, look at my face." And Finn like goes to like Finn turns around and like goes to walk out, and then Dom like grabs him and is like, "Hey, come here." And as he's grabbing him to hug him, he hugs him and then he releases him. And when he does, you got Carlito behind him and he does the backstabber.
Oh man, I don't want to see Carlito do that to that poor man. Carlito's too good.
I was just thinking, are we seeing the demon from Finn this WrestleMania weekend?
I mean, maybe, but I also think if we do see the demon soon, it should be against Dom.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it would have to be against Dom. Dom would have to lose because I don't want to see the demon lose again. But
let's not talk about how they fucked him over at
Mania.
But no, like in the story could write itself where like Dom gets a fluke win at Payback with interference, right? Or dirty games, and then whatever the fucking next pay per view is, back I don't even know what the pay per view after that. Dom gets another weird victory, and then Finn's like, you've seen every side of me except for the demon, and then he fucking brings the demon out and then decimates Dom. Like there's
I said it when Dom went against Gunther. I think the perfect time to turn Dom a babyface is now.
Yep.
And you can start at WrestleMania.
Yep. Okay, so next, speaking of Gunther, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match. We've got Gunther versus Jay. So who do you think goes over?
Oh, man.
Fuck, man. Here's my honest thoughts on the whole thing. I don't like the idea of Gunther losing back-to-back WrestleManias. It actually annoys the shit out of me. That being said, he is the most winning superstar on that entire roster.
Exactly.
So him losing doesn't really hurt him. I just don't like that. It's on a Mania. I don't want to say that Triple H is a one-trick pony with Gunther.
No.
But it seems like Gunther is only there to collect the title, have a run, and then when he doesn't have a title, he's not doing much.
Yeah. What about you, JR?
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's just like if you have Gunther go over, you basically defeat the purpose of the Rumble with this win. Because if there's a reason why a certain individual won the Rumble, there has to be a reason. You don't have them lose their Rumble match just for the sake of losing the match, just because in this case here, because you basically wasted a moment for the Royal Rumble in this case here. So,
like they did with Nakamura and Asuka in the same night.
I think that situation was different, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think Asuka, and I will stand firm on this opinion because it has never changed. Her going undefeated in NXT was the worst possible thing they could have ever done because it hurt that entire women's division. Yep. Then following up into the main roster, she still went in undefeated. They even did a charity fucking event where she was still undefeated. So it's like, I don't dislike Asuka in any capacity.
No. You just don't like the fact that
she's undefeated. Streaks are fucking stupid. If it's not The Undertaker, I don't want it.
Okay, fair enough.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it has to be. I think in this case here, you have to have Jay winning because, obviously, the moment would be ruined for Rumble if that's the case.
Not only that, but I also feel like you can't have both Rumble winners lose.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So I really everything in me wants Jay to win, just because the man. In the bloodline, in the original bloodline storyline, he was the storyline. right? Like,
Yeah.
we can say Roman was the storyline, but he was the fucking glue that held everything together. He made it feel more important. So everything in me wants him to win. Now I'm just gonna say this: what if he doesn't? And I'm gonna say that because what if he doesn't? What if they build it to the point where he like is in that moment to capitalize and he misses with like the Uso splash? Let's say that he decides to go for the Uso splash and he misses, and then Gunther fucking crushes the Dream. Dog, not only is the IWC gonna go haywire, Rikishi's gonna lose his fucking mind, and we know how Rikishi is when it comes to Jay.
I have an idea. This might not be popular. What if Jimmy cost Jay the title match?
Oh,
For what reason?
They had the WrestleMania match, right? The match
Yeah.
that everybody bitched about,
Hmm.
with no build up to that match, and it was arguably one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time.
yeah.
I think a strong story between Jimmy and Jay, based off of the fact that Jay, regardless if he couldn't actually help his brother getting battered by Gunther, it could go off the premise of Jay didn't do anything to stop Gunther from doing what he was doing.
It could also run off of jealousy because Jimmy hasn't had the opportunities that Jay has.
Not only that, but remember when they had them get together for a random ass tag team match?
Yeah.
Everybody was there for Jay, not one person was there for Jimmy.
Yeah.
So it's like there's low-key storytelling that you could still tell there, but at the same time, Jay getting his moment too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a couple different directions you can go with Jay and Gunther.
Absolutely. And I think that there's ways that you can go about it where you don't make any one of them look weak, right? You don't make Gunther look weak. You don't make Jay look weak. You keep them both pretty strong. So the next one we have is the World Heavyweight Championship match, or the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Chris.
Io Sky. Don't want anybody else winning.
If you're pushing EO to be this, second-rate champion compared to the two of them, it has to be EO winning in this situation here. And I think in this case here, if you're pushing Rhea to be a heel, or if you're pushing her to be this manic, I want a championship match all the time, EO has to pin Rhea again in the situation here.
Yep. I agree with you. I don't want to see EO lose her championship a consecutive WrestleMania.
That too, yes.
I also don't think it's in the roster's best interest to have Rhea hold the title again.
No, not for a while.
Yeah.
But I also think that we're going to get an interference from Jade, and I think Jade's going to attack Bianca or Naomi.
It's going to be Jade or Naomi's going to have a huge presence
in this.
But I think, dude, I mean, we could get a Bianca heel turn, and that could force Jade out, and Jade could that could be Bianca, or Jade's next opponent is Bianca. Next we got Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in the triple threat match.
Ooh.
Who needs it more is the question.
Punk needs it more, man.
Yeah, because Seth's a made man no matter what, I would say.
Roman's a made man too.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts on this match, man. If by chance that Paul Heyman is to turn and side with Rollins, this can trampoline Rollins to the next level that he needs to be at. Yeah. And we've all stated this about Rollins. Rollins is a master psychologist, right? Yeah. What better way to fuck with Roman more than have Paul Heyman stand by Roman Reigns' side? I mean, wait. Paul Heyman stand by Rollins' side. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I also think that CM Punk definitely needs this more than anybody else.
I think that there's something we still don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel this looming thing that we don't know yet. And I have this weird sneaky suspicion.
Watch Brock Lesnar come back.
His name was Brock Lesnar. No. No, I feel like there was something more in the contract that nobody knew.
With CM Punk?
Right? Yes, absolutely.
Like what?
So I think that there may be a clause or something that we find out that there's a clause in there that if Punk wins, he goes to main event with Cody and Cena.
Absolutely.
That is just that's a weird, crazy booking thought. I wouldn't mind it. I don't want it, but I
My
wouldn't
only
mind
problem with that is Cody and Cena have done 100% of the legwork. And Punk have only been face to face one time.
Yep, Cody and Cena have done all the legwork, which is why Punk coming in would fucking I think would shake this up. I'm not saying that I want it, but I wouldn't be
last year
surprised.
with the bloodline rules type thing.
Yeah, not that I want it to happen. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
But I think Punk's going over, personally.
Yeah.
Next, we've got the main event. We got the undisputed WWE Championship match of Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
I'll let you guys go first on this one because I got a little bit of a banter for this.
Sean, you go. I can't. I don't know. I don't know this one.
All right, I'm on the fence here, man, because I want Cena to win because the heel turn. The heel turn would make no sense for him if he lost at Mania. But I also want Cody to win, and I feel like Cody is a great fucking champion. He is a phenomenal champion. But I feel like the fire is more inside of him in the chase. I feel like he has so much fire in the chase of the championship. Not that the fire that he has in him as champion is different, but you can tell he goes from hunted to or from hunter to hunted, right? So instead of the survival instinct, now he has that predator instinct. And I think that there's going to be there could be interference in this match, or there could be a stipulation added in this match last minute where it's no DQ, and we'll see. We might see The Rock come in. I wouldn't doubt that The Rock came in. We might get another stable member for that to jump in. But I think at the end of it, I don't think anybody comes out for Cody. I think literally Cody gets his ass beat at Mania. And Cena wins. Cena takes it, and he goes in the process of quote unquote destroying wrestling.
Mm-hmm. So, I think I'm on the fence on this too because it's like with this, it's like I don't know.
How do you choose?
The heel turn, obviously, the heel turn is obviously the trump card in this particular situation because you don't do a heel turn unless it means something for one of the superstars in this case here. But in this case here, this is for the main prize is the most important thing. I think the odds will be once again stacked against Cody, and even though I don't want to see it, I mean, it probably makes sense, but I'm gonna say Cena wins. But I think it's just gonna be because someone else is coming in and we don't know who it's gonna be in this particular situation. So I think Cena will get number 17 at WrestleMania. There. Okay. There's my.
I have something else that I want to add, but I'm gonna let Chris go, and
Go
then
ahead. Add your thing first.
I just thought of this. I have a feeling that they're not going to mention Randy Orton at Mania. It's going to be a blank canvas of Randy Orton. He may show up and he may be like looking for an opponent, but he's not going to have a segment in the ring. And I have a sneaky feeling that he could be added into that match with Cena and Cody. He has history with Cena. He's already told Cena that he was a bottom to The Rock. And then he's Cody's mentor, right? He was Cody's mentor. What better way to break Cody than to have your mentor come out and act like he's siding with you and then fuck you over in the end? I mean, he could even twist it. Like, he can twist it in another promo afterwards or at the end of the night or maybe on SmackDown where he says, what did you expect? I'm a fucking snake.
Yeah.
Right. And just like he has before and many times. Right. And or he could spin it where, like Cody, had you been more level headed, I wouldn't have been injured by Kevin Owens. Had you not helped out Roman Reigns, I would never have been injured. This is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off my soapbox now.
All right.
Let me climb on the soapbox.
Okay.
So
Come on. It's warm up here.
just starting off with just the matchup that it is in itself. We have two of arguably the biggest baby faces to ever step foot into a WWE ring. Probably since Rock and Austin. And I said this when the matchup was made. There's a lot of comparisons here, I think, especially when Austin turned heel. I think that we're in a very unique position where we can't lose, right? Yeah. Cody wins, we can't lose. Cena wins, we can't lose. Yeah. For me, Cena obliterating Cody Rhodes and holding the title hostage is the ideal situation for me. Simply for the fact that we can have a full-blown power trip of John Cena holding on to that title, putting obstacle after obstacle after obstacle in front of Cody Rhodes. Now, the Randy Orton thing is an interesting twist, too, because Orton can walk that line between a vicious son of a bitch and a massive baby face. Yeah. If he somehow worked his way to be on the same side as Cena and do what you said he was going to do and fuck over Cody and do the legwork for Cena saying this is your fault that it happened. If you would have kept your eye on the ball, none of this would have ever happened. I like that idea a lot. And Cena holding that title hostage till be it SummerSlam, be it Backlash, whatever. I don't like the 2-week title reign. I think that's stupid, so I'll say SummerSlam.
No, you have to save it for at least 6 months or so.
Yeah. And I think having a 6-month storyline with somebody of the likes of John Cena would be incredible.
Perfectly fine.
CM Punk is also a factor here too, like you said, Sean. We could have that John Cena and CM Punk match at SummerSlam because Cody got taken out. Cody comes out after SummerSlam and attacks Cena after he beats CM Punk. There is a couple different directions you can go with a John Cena heel turn, and that's what's so great about it. It doesn't have to be a just off the cuff, let's turn him heel for the sake of turning him heel.
Yeah, sure.
We can get via satellite promos if they decide to go there, because I think satellite promos are fucking hysterical. And him doing it, being on the Rock side, would make it even better.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see cockiness out of John Cena, too.
Yeah.
Because we know he can do it. It's just a matter of, can they pull the trigger on a full-blown peacemaker, sarcastic asshole in John Cena? I think the right direction, and I love Cody and I love his title reign, is John Cena.
Yeah. And again, we can't go wrong if Cody wins in this case here. Yeah,
but to your point too, I feel like it's a throwaway for a heel turn if he wins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We can't go wrong, but with this heel turn, it has to make sense. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement. It has to be Cena winning. I don't know how, but he will.
The Rock is still a factor. He hasn't been a presence, but he is a factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
You can do a chase with Cody again for the championship because they've done it with Austin when he lost the title, and then they had to put all these obstacles in front of Austin. Same thing with The Rock. Same thing with like all these established stars that we see today. They've all had a point where they've lost the title, and then they had to jump through hoops to get another shot at the gold in this case here.
And
Triple H
held it for a month. He's held it for an exact year.
1 year exactly as of this past week. This past week. Yes.
You know what else I was thinking is like they could drag this out to the end of the year with Cena, right? And you could go where where he just disappears with the championship like Brock. When Brock was
hold it hostage.
hold that motherfucker hostage, right? Go different pay-per-views without a defense, right? And who's gonna tell him he has to defend it? Triple H.
Sure. Yeah.
The Rock was Triple H's boss, right? And you could play that card. You could even get to Summer or Survivor Series where like the book.
Funny.
Book you could book up to Survivor Series where Cody's like, they're on opposing sides and Cody's like, I want to match with you in War Games, right? And then Cena's like, no,
it doesn't coincide with my schedule.
yeah, no. He'll be like, no, because that's a match. He'll be like, no, because that's a match your dad made famous. No, he'll be like,
or he could say, I don't associate myself with mediocre talent.
yeah, he could do that, and then he could say, he could be like, I'll do a traditional Survivor Series match with you, but there's no stakes in this, and then somehow the stakes could be like, hey, Cody wins, he gets a shot, like Team Cody wins, he gets a shot at.
I have an idea. What if Cena defends the title anywhere except for WWE? Like he goes to TNA and destroys.
Oh my
god!
Dude.
Come on, that'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, shows up at NXT and is like, "Hey, who wants a shot at this?"
Hey, you have a kid named Javon Evans? Yeah, fuck him.
Fuck
those kids.
Yeah, he'll be like,
those kids.
Dude, he could literally show up and then be like, yeah, I'm here in NXT, to prove that you guys are not the future. And I heard that there's somebody that's running their mouth. Miles Bourne, come here.
Oh,
leave Miles alone.
No, stop it.
He
can't hear it. He won't be able to see.
No. The promo, bro. Fuck.
Yeah, and that's the point.
Gonna make you look like fucking Helen Keller? Come on.
That is the point. That is the fucking point. Because Cena is a dastardly heel. Dude, you could have him go to TNA, right? And how Joe Henry called him out. You could have him completely negate Joe Henry and be like, you don't deserve my time, but you know who does? Crazy Steve.
Crazy Steve.
Oh, dude. Going to promotions to fucking insult talents would be hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Dude, he could
right now, if he goes to TNA as a champion and just completely obliterates Joe Hendry on the mic, I'm here for it.
Dude, well, not even that, man.
Cody Rhodes, and I beat his ass at WrestleMania.
Dude, but also imagine this. Like, he goes to TNA and, like, Jeff Hardy shows up. And Jeff wants to fucking fight him. And he's like, I don't associate myself with addicts. No, and that would have to be it. No, and he could say no, and that's why, is because Cena is going too far. Cena's not holding any limits. He could be like, I don't associate with addicts, right? And then he could say,
how do you go from
listen to me.
John Cena to MJF? What is this?
Well, no, listen, like he could fucking literally, this writes itself. He could be like, I don't associate myself with addicts. And he'd be like, remember the last championship match that actually like really mattered? You blew it against Sting.
Oh, God.
Brother, if there was some timeline where John Cena were to do something like that, it would be fucking insane.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And it's possible. It's possible.
Or
he
can take the IWC's opinion and say, oh, well, people said that you would have been better than me if you didn't get arrested.
Yeah. Dude, like, the stories write itself, and, like, they could be great. And, like...
And that's what I'm saying about this heel turn, dude. There's so many things that they can do with him that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but also they could make it and, like, take it over, like way over, right? Like, they could put Cena in a position of authority in TKO, like
that's
authority,
what I'm saying.
Where he could be Rock's right-hand man and do the dirty work for the Rock.
Do his.
They could even, yeah. I mean, dude, it literally could. These stories write itself, man, and like they could be fucking great.
And you can say that he did it for the Rock.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, dude. You could even do a WCW versus, or I mean, WCW, WWE versus TKO deal, where it's like Survivor Series is WCW or WCW, WWE versus TKO, and your Survivor Series match for supremacy of the brand, right? So you could have TKO as the parent company, as like the, and you wouldn't have to have Ari Emanuel in it at all. Like, leave him out of it.
No.
Rock.
Instead of it being like instead of it being TKO, call them like the board or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
The board
it could be
WWE.
it could be Team Rock versus Team Triple H.
See, I don't know if I want Triple H involved in it though.
No. Triple H.
He can't get physical. Remember, he can't get physical.
No.
So, you know,
He would be in a way the captain, but he wouldn't be involved, right? Like The Rock would be the captain, but he wouldn't be involved. It would be people representing both sides of them, right? You could put Gunther on The Rock side because Gunther already has that. Cena, Gunther. Yeah, you could stack the fucking card against. You could stack the card against Cody, but Cody has always fought and has always shined in adversity.
Yeah.
Right. So look, you could have Gunther, you could have Randy, you could have Cena, who else? Drew, and then one other person on the other side. You have Punk. I mean, Rollins could even be a part of that too.
Yeah.
You could have Punk, you could have Roman, and that would set Rock and Roman up for the next WrestleMania. Rock and Roman. You could have Cena. Sorry, Punk, Roman, Cody, Jay,
Priest.
somebody else. Fuck no, keep Priest away from that shit.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know. Fifth one.
I mean, you could throw around a name.
Random name, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
But I mean, like,
you know who we need to add? Eddie Thorpe, obviously.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. I could tell my ancestors that I was in the main event of Survivor Series.
You could dig your hands into NXT and pull out Obafemi and like have Obafemi either team with The Rock or team with fucking Cody. But if he teams with The Rock, it would make sense because he called him Uncle Dwayne.
Right.
So I mean, like, and then you could have somebody that he's feuding with on the other side. So like, not Javon Evans, but like you could have.
Let's go Evans to you.
No, you could have Trick Williams. Trick Williams be on the other side.
The only problem with Trick Williams though is how do you put him on the level with all of those guys in such a short amount of time?
Yeah,
you don't really have to. The story's right itself, right? And you don't really have to. The Rock could dig in. And I mean, like, listen, The Rock could dig into NXT because Ava, right? Influenced through Ava. And then he could say, hey, look, I want Oba. And then boom, pull Oba. And then Oba's a part of his team. But then Triple H is like, hey, I created NXT and I need somebody to step up and fill this fucking spot. And right now, I feel like there's no other bigger star aside from Obafemi as Trick Williams. So you could have the immovable object meets irresistible force and NXT on both sides.
And this will be the reaction of the fans here if they don't get what they want. Let me see. Can you see this photo by any chance? This will be the reaction.
Wait. You got to play the JBL clip.
Oh, yeah. That JBL clip.
Kiss my ass. This show sucks.
Oh, my God.
Go fuck yourself.
Yes, and that's we've done a lot of fantasy booking on this show, and we've run 3 fucking hours. Holy shit. But anyways, before we go, Chris, what are you excited about this coming week?
Yes.
All of it. Yeah.
Same. You don't have to go through me. I'm the same. I'm about the same. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to watch Stand and Deliver as well, and I'm excited. And life moves on. I planted my garden this week, so I'm tending to that. I got some turmeric growing. I got some ginger sprouting its roots, or at least trying to. And so I've been I bought a fucking guitar, a new guitar. So I've been
yeah.
brushing up on my on. Yep. But yeah, and fuck, man, I'm excited for WrestleMania, and it's still a week away.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. But so until next time, I hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy your time. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Michelle, for being here. Thank you, Will, for being here. I always love you. Webb, thanks for being here. Even the human spider, the human garbage. Thank you for being here and letting us know that you want me to fucking end my life. I don't know what that means, or who you are, but have a nice day. Have a day you deserve. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good day. Much love. Deuces.